Ba-bam.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to the kitchen. Sorry for the late start. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. I apologize for the late start. As per usual, we had streaming issues, but they're resolved. It's just proof that if you press enough buttons, something's bound to happen. But yes, there's something like Robert says is bound to blow up. Exactly. Speaking of Robert, hi, Robert.
Hello, David. Good to see you. Good to hear your voice. I know why they have that speaker button on the recording in the waiting room, because I waited for about 10 minutes to get in. My camera has gone funny. Anyway, I waited about 10 minutes to come in, and as much as I liked listening to you, it was driving me around the bend listening to the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Mike Latta, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Good to see everybody. Good Friday afternoon, good morning, good evening,
and good night.
and good night.
Hey,
time to
Frank.
leave already?
Sorry. Hey, Frank, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank
Waiting
you.
for the big party on Wednesday
There's a big party on Wednesday?
for Canadians. It's our, it's kind of like our 4th of July. It's our July 1st.
Happy July 1st, Canadian.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is it like a fireworks kind of party?
Oh,
or is it
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You had to do it just a couple days before us, huh? Just you had to get it in there right before us.
We're always prompt. It's polite to be prompt.
Polite and prompt. Love it.
And we're
John,
not
drink
and
water.
I was gonna say we're not sorry either. Go for it, Johnny.
No, you're not. John, drink water.
Well, I'm looking forward to moving to my new studio.
Where's that? When is that?
It's number 1 Pall Mall, because I understand His Royal Highness doesn't want to go back. He's happy in his house since the refurbishment of the Great Palace for our king. He's not going back. So I thought I would, book a room. I'm sure it will be on some package soon.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Next week, Zoom test kitchen from the palace.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
That would be nice. Ray Harwood. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello,
How are
everybody.
you?
I'm doing well, doing well. You know, just the end of another week.
A busy week, I hope. A good busy week.
It's been a busy week. Yeah, I've got I think 4 events kind of spread over August, September, and October, and helping out kind of the one I've done now a couple of years in a row for medium.com. They have their Medium Day once a year, and they have a variety of their writers who come in and each have their own 30-minute session, and they hit me right off with a couple of ticketing challenges and Zoom events, and we've got all those worked out, and learned a few things in the process. So that's always a good week.
There you go. I like it. And yeah. Professor Idelson is here. Good to have you here. Hasmuk is here. And that is the crowd for today. Hey, I was hoping, in addition to playing with the new updates, that we could get a report from Zoom Developer Day conference celebration thing. Could we get that from someone? Mike or John? I imagine both of you are there.
Yeah, we were there. Go for it, Johnny. I'll let you start.
Yeah, we can do that whenever you want to fit it in. Just let us know. We can sort that out. No problem.
Go.
That's what I love. Thankfully, being a member of Toastmasters, I'm very good at putting in phrases at the beginning, which allow me to think about what I'm going to tell you while I'm just jabbering along. It's a technique that Toastmasters International is very good at. And we are very proud to be a member of Toastmasters, but we're also very proud to be a member of the Zoom developer community, because there were some really exciting things dropped at the conference. But most of it will be, I'm not going to say over your heads, because that's not what I mean, but it's not really, it's more of the big corporate end. There was a lot of big corporate endy stuff. And the interesting parts of that were people just keep finding more and more imaginative ways to use things like RTMS, which is where you get a media stream out of Zoom. And there are people that have matched that with some AI, so it will recognize people who are fake. That's a bit like the blind leading the blind, isn't it? AI sitting there to work out if AI is fake or not. But anyhow, that's one of the things, and I think it's in Bright. I think they've announced now it's in Bright Hire, which is another part of Zoom, another bit that Zoom owns, so that people can get interviewed, and whether they're fake or not, it will pick them up. That's quite neat. The big thing for us in our community is probably the announcements by the great Andy. Praise be to his name, but I'll try not to mention it 3 times because I don't want to bring him out for no reason at all. Andy has released 2 new development kits. Yes, some of us feel hasn't Zoom got enough development kits, but every time it has a problem, it brings out a development kit exactly for that need. And what is neat about these 2 new development kits is, one allows you to make hardware devices with Zoom built in. Yes, this has been done already by lots of people like DTAM and all these Zoom Rooms dedicated devices. But now that code is out there. It's there for you to have a look at. And if you think you can embed it in a hardware device, then you just need to apply to Zoom and you can have that hardware device Zoomified.
So I watched some of this, and especially his, and I saw that, and then I also saw the other SDK, which I'm sure you'll talk about in a second. But before we do that, for us dummies, can you explain what it means to build Zoom into a hardware device? Like, are we talking about a Zoom room? Is that what we're talking about? A Zoom room device here?
Okay. Well, can I answer the question by going through the whole family to give you an idea of what's possible? So at the beginning of the world, shall we say, let's start with Zoom Workplace. And you can write, using the app SDK, you can write an app that works inside the Zoom Workplace. It pops up on that little window on the side. And that app can run in the Zoom Workplace when you're in a meeting, but it can actually work when you're not in a meeting. So it can actually pop up there. And in fact, it works very similar to all the other apps that Zoom has within Workplace. So Zoom Sheets is effectively running within a window. You can create an app that works within a window. And if you do that, then you can communicate to the Zoom Workplace app. So you can get a list of people who are in the meeting, and you can turn on and off your camera, and you can do all things meeting related. The next step is to say, I don't want to use that. I want my own version of Zoom. So you have a browser version of Zoom, which you then build all the Zoom things in and you control. So it is a browser version of Zoom, but you're inside with your code and you can add the extra functionality you like. And then the third way of doing it is you start with an app of your own and you use something called the Video SDK, which brings the video conferencing features of Zoom into your app. Now, you don't join the Zoom world doing that. You only take advantage of the back end of Zoom. So you create your own app, but all the video conferencing features are given to you by Zoom, and you just pay a token fee for the amount of time you use it. So maybe you've got a doctor's app where you're going to do consultations. So you would build it in the Video SDK, so it's completely outside Zoom. It's totally under your control. But instead of having to build all the video conferencing features, you can get Zoom to do it for you. Where these two apps that Andy came in, these are extensions of what the Zoom Workplace app can do. So if you go back to the beginning of my story, when I said you can have a little app that runs in the Workplace app, what Andy has now let us have access to, and a lot of his launch customers have been using this, is two versions of an app that replaces that. So you either build your own hardware device and it then talks directly to Zoom, or you build your own software program that talks directly to the Workplace app. So it's like a companion program to the Workplace app. So you can be in the Workplace app traditionally, or you can have an app that's outside. So I would expect, and if they don't, I'll have a go at them. I would expect people like Mimo Live and all those guys who want better integration to Zoom to have a look at these new apps and see if they will be more advantageous to them running it that way. But it's still valid for them to run it the way they are now, which is an app that has Zoom built into it.
We should, by the way, mention that the reason John knows so much about this is because he and Mike are serious players in the Zoom developer community. In fact, they won a Developer Innovation Award for Best Developer Community Contribution. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was told we won it about 3 hours before we won it.
What was it for? What did you do?
I humbly suggest that somebody else should say this, really, but all I can tell you is what I do, and maybe that was part of it. So I am active in the forums for the Zoom developers community, which is different to the community, the normal Zoom community. The Zoom dev community is in a different app to the normal communities, which is a bit confusing sometimes because we get posts in either one. And I answer quite a few of the questions in there. And there is also a office hours for the Zoom developers community, and Mike and I also attend that, and we will throw our information and our perspective. Sometimes people come to the developers community, or they want to write an app and they want to do something, and you can say, well, excuse me, you can do that in Zoom, and they don't even know that. So it's very useful for the Zoom coders to have people who use the stuff in real life, so to speak. And sometimes I will think about, okay, so how would I do that in real life? And then I'll relate to, well, that way I can do it in code. So that's what I believe we bring to the Zoom developers community, so that the real life experience, as you know, all the employees in Zoom, they're all in their little silos. They're all focused 110% on getting their bit of the world of Zoom as great as possible. And they don't have a chance to see what's going on elsewhere. And sometimes, we tell them things and they go, gosh, can we do that? Who told me?
Yeah. And as John mentioned, I'm not as much involved in the actual forums day by day. But again, my involvement is a lot more with the actual developer team, where John and I help out and give our knowledge. Again, it's more of what I give back to them is more related to specifically my years of experience when it comes to actually working with software, working as a beta tester for many pieces of software, including Zoom way back in the day before it was even called Zoom, to actually give feedback properly, but detailed feedback back to teams that they go, right. So what Mike said here is actually affecting us here, and this is where we should change it there. Right. I'm more of at that level where I'm more of an app, shall we call it an app tester, I guess. Not very great term, but basically and again, it's not that I don't know code. I do know code, but I'm more of a system administrator has been my main career for decades. But when it comes to working with software developers, obviously, being a system administrator, software guy is going to want to run software on my servers, right? So it's been all that type of stuff of where I've seen things ahead of time be problems and not be problems, and actually giving proper feedback going, you really should do it this way instead of doing that way, which is what John just mentioned as well, is that you thought of doing it this way. Why are you doing it that way? And actually quizzing the developers a little more, because some of the developers are pigeonholed as I have to do it this way, because then they don't really have any proper answer most of the time. It's like, because they want to, but it's not that Zoom could actually probably do that capability for them.
Well, I think it's awesome.
Very, very well.
I think it's awesome. And of course that we see VizRT up there, which we've talked about, and the world thing, that's the one that you were mentioning before, the tell me if you're human thing, I think. Right.
Yeah, that's the world ID stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. In any case, very cool. Now, wait, did you talk about the second thing that the second SDK they released, or did I miss that, John?
Well, we went into it to a bit, yes. Yeah. So the second one is the software one. So
that's
that
the
allows
software
you
one,
to
sorry.
That allows you to write an app. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the one I'm more interested in.
Right. And when I saw that, my first thought was, did Ecamm and Mimo, did they all do a whole bunch of work that now is really fundamentally unnecessary because now they can just plug in via this new SDK? I don't know, but that was my first question.
That will be something they will have to have a look at. Maybe they would want to make use of this, but most of the people in that world would have used either an ISO type experience, bringing down the sources, or maybe they would have used the video. No, they wouldn't be able to use videos. Most of them have used an ISO type function, and this may make it easier for them to add those things that you keep saying they should add that they can't, that they haven't added. Yeah, these extra buttons.
Yeah,
this could open up that.
Okay,
and make that a bit easier for them to do.
Gotcha. Cool. Hey, Robert.
Yeah, I would humbly request you put that slide back on the screen, and that we take a good look at John and Mike's name next to VizRT, next to Help Lightning, next to the world. I mean, I don't think, I just realized this is big. These guys are doing a great job. Look, they're in good company.
Robert, you are humbly part of this. You really are. Everybody here is part of this. Let's not forget that there was another big meeting this week, which was the first meeting of the Zoom MVPs. And 4 people here are members of the MVP group. And that
So we have this minimum viable product, and what is it called?
no, most valuable peanuts.
Okay. Sorry, got it wrong.
Most valuable peanuts. I like that. Yeah.
But that is that's all part of, you know, that part of getting that recognition is being part of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Zoom Test Kitchen is name dropped quite a lot in Zoom, and I'm very proud of you all to be part of this group, because it is one of the things that is one of the shows that people remember and talk about the most.
Yeah. The perfect example I can give you is that, quote unquote, in the last developers office hours, they always say to me, Mike, what's going to be on the kitchen this week? The kitchen this week.
Yep.
I like to think of it as an ecosystem. I mean, it's like the biosphere of the planet, but it's the biosphere of Zoom. And without us little microbes out here, kind of transferring foodstuffs in the system, and knowledge goes from some of us who don't have big budgets, and some of us have larger budgets, and some of us have different needs, different clients, and that sort of stuff. Zoom is I think rightly recognizing that they really need the input from everybody. The tier 1, the tier 0, depending on how you look at it, make up a large base for Zoom, and some of us represent more of that than like Frank and the folks who have enterprise type licenses. We sort of bring some of that to the table as well. So one of the guys, as we were discussing the MVPs during that meeting, someone said, well, John talked about development, and I talked about Zoom events, and one of the other guys talked about Zoom phone, and this guy went, honestly, I don't know why I'm here. I just manage a very large university with thousands of Zoom people. And I said, there are a lot of people out there who go, I'm just an administrator of an account and I don't know what to do. You represent those people in the MVP community. So, yeah, it's big. It's big.
Good stuff.
And it is our collective intelligence, David, that really shines through in everything that I get involved in.
Yeah.
Is to be able to refer back to the experiences of everybody else in the test kitchen and the other people I bump into, and be able to take their historical experiences into my knowledge so that I can pass that on to other people.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we come into the Zoom test kitchen and rub antenna together so that we can share where we've been and where we're going. And we take that off to some other part of the ecosystem.
Indeed. Hello, Julie. Good to see you.
Hi. Thank
How are you? Good to see you.
Good. Good.
So I opened my Zoom client today.
You did.
And I saw this. Talk to your AI. Oh, wait, let me pull my ugly face up. Talk to your AI agent right in chat. And then it says, get help completing your work from custom AI agents that have all the background and context from your chats. Complete this quick setup and you'll get 500 credits to find out. So I want my 500 credits. Let's go. So start with who you describe the AI agent you want to create. So what do I want to create? And I just was given 500 credits. I wonder if that's on top of the 500 I had before.
David, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Ask it to make an agent that will connect you to the YouTube stream when you start the Zoom test kitchen.
Create. Okay, wait. Well, I'm in the wrong. Okay. Create an agent that will automatically begin streaming my meetings. to YouTube.
Not all your meetings, David.
Well, this is it's all right. I'm not gonna. I'm in the wrong account here, so but I don't want to do it in the Zoom test discussion account because that might mess with the meeting. Let's see what happens here. AI agent builder. Okay, so it's analyzing. If this actually works, I'll be pretty impressed. User wants to create, so it's looking at what's available. Manage meeting settings, manage meeting skills. There's a Zoom settings toolkit and Zoom meeting toolkit. So it's kind of walking me through, telling me the manage meeting settings skill can handle the, oh, okay. I see the available tools. The Zoom settings toolkit has meeting settings tools, including in-meeting options, which covers live streaming. But the key challenge here is that automatically starting a YouTube live stream requires more than just a settings configuration. It requires the live streaming feature to be enabled and then the stream to be manually initiated per meeting or a custom live streaming integration. Let me build an agent that helps configure and manage this as effectively. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. So this may take a few moments. All right, my AI agent is created. YouTube Live Stream Manager is ready to use. It can help you enable YouTube live streaming in your Zoom meeting settings. Check your current live streaming configuration, configure. Zoom does, important limitation. Zoom does not fully support fully automatic hands-free live streaming starts. The host must click live on YouTube from the meeting controls once the meeting begins. This agent ensures your settings are properly configured so that option is available, but the stream initiation step remains manual. Okay.
David, this one says it's a custom RTMP, but don't you usually have your accounts integrated or connected?
I do. It doesn't look like it's actually connecting to it doesn't look like it's actually connecting to YouTube at all though. So I'm not sure. It's not enable YouTube live streaming. Configure a meeting for streaming. Yeah, this is this isn't actually doing anything for me. It's
I think it's a good
already
answer.
enabled the user level. Now let me check. Well, okay, no, this is okay. So this is helpful. So it told me that live streaming is enabled on my account, and then it's telling me how to stream to a custom RTMP. All right. So that was, I mean, it didn't do it for me, but it did tell me that my settings are correct.
Just tell it that your accounts are connected and enabled. So it doesn't need to set up an RTMP stream.
Well, but they're not. I mean, it's that's not a persistent connection. Every time you live stream to YouTube, you have to make that connection to YouTube. So it's not something that Zoom holds on to.
Okay, that's because you're not going live and letting it start enable the stream. You're connecting to an RTMP session on YouTube that you've already created. Is that?
No. So when in the live streaming app, which is the way that I usually go live, because when I click live stream, it'll start anew. It won't connect to an existing, I don't think. Right? No. If the live stream button in Zoom, as I understand it, and then Frank, I'll get you. I'm sorry. The live stream button in Zoom just initiates a stream. It's not, you can't connect to a scheduled stream. To connect to a scheduled stream, you have to use, as I understand it, the app, which is either RTMP or you can connect your account. But even when I connect my account, that is not persistent. I have found that I have to do that almost every week. It doesn't hold on to that connection. But it's possible that I'm doing it wrong. Frank, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What are you sorry about? So this is reminiscent of something that I came across in the last week or two. Another educational web conferencing tool that I used to support sent me an email saying, "Hey, look what we're up to." And what they're doing is they're putting what they call AI participants in the meeting now, and so basically virtual people driven by AI. But they've given these so far. This may change. They've given these people roles, and remember, this is in an education context. They've got an AI participant called the tutor. They've got an AI participant called the peer. They've got an AI participant called the co-pilot. And then this is mostly germane to what you're trying to do right now. They have an AI participant called the support agent that helps participants troubleshoot technical issues and answers questions about the platform on the fly. So maybe if you broaden the scope of your thing you're making to be more of like a tech support agent, it could be more encompassing. I don't know.
That's fascinating. That's it makes me think of the meeting, the persistent meeting that's sitting over in office hours, where that has 8 or however many fake people, so you can do some testing and things like that.
Except these aren't just videos; they're actual participants in the meeting. Like,
Oh,
you could call them the professor, Marianne. You can call them whatever you want, but they're taking part in the meeting and they're listening all the time. And I don't know if they jump in and offer suggestions unless you summon them, but they're definitely in the meeting if you allow them to be. So, like, this whole idea that these companies, including I'm sure Zoom, will have these virtual participants in your meeting all the time is new and fascinating to me.
what an interesting idea. That, oh my goodness. So the AI, it's not just in chat anymore. You can actually summon a meeting
Yeah,
participant.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if they have like little icons or faces or what they look like. But basically, it says this company utilizes a robust framework centered around the AI participant, which allows artificial intelligence to join virtual classrooms and enhance the human teaching experience. Rather than replacing instructors, these AI agents operate in specialized support roles to handle tasks like tutoring, peer assistance, co-piloting, and administrative support. So, Zoom's not one to be left behind. So I'm sure at some point Zoom's going to have AI participants in our meetings, and I don't know if they'll make the first ones, and then eventually we'll be able to make our own tutored to our needs, or tailored to our needs. But maybe Lois, for example, maybe she's having one of her bird meetings, and they need an AI participant who's an expert on, is it ornithology, birds? Anyways, and if you said, "Oh, is that a red crested or blue crested, whatever," the AI participant who might be the bird expert might say, "No, no, it's the blue one." Like, who knows what these participants could be doing in these meetings going forward?
Wow.
I think a red crested is a newt, not a bird.
I have no idea, but
Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, but you've really inspired me to play with this now, because one of the agents that I can imagine setting up pretty quickly and playing with is an agent that helps people who come in and can't figure out how to select their interpretation channel that they want, the language channel. Because one of the biggest challenges we have is that someone comes in and the meeting's in English, and that person who comes in doesn't speak English. And he starts writing in a different language in the chat for some assistance. And you've got to have one of the interpreters go in there and interpret what the tech support person is saying to him. Imagine having an agent like this that is multilingual and says, okay, this is what you do in the language that the person chats in, and sorts the problem out.
Are these agents portable though? Like, can you? I mean, it looks to me like this just lives in my Zoom chat. I don't know that I can actually. I mean, first of all, I'm the wrong person to talk about agents, because I haven't gotten into agents because I've never found them helpful to do anything. But I mean, this seems to me not to be a true agent. This seems to me to be a chatbot. I said enable custom live streaming, and it said, "Oh, okay, looks like your settings are set up." I mean, that's And I can't take this into a meeting with me, can I? I mean, how would I summon it in a meeting? I don't even know. Much less deploy it in such a way that someone else could have access to it.
There's my my prediction for Zoomtopia 2026. We'll be getting AI participants in our meetings sometime in the next year after Zoomtopia.
The man has spoken.
Yeah.
Let's go on Polymarket and wager. I mean,
We're adding to the wish list.
Prepare for support call. Okay.
I think a tech support AI participant would be extremely helpful for lots of meetings, right?
Right. But again, it's not clear to me. Okay, let's try this. So I want, what is support? An AI agent that helps teams triage issues, prepare for support calls. No, that's not what I want. Engineering, marketing, product management, sales. Okay, Zoom all in one. All right, here's a Zoom all in one. Let's customize this. It's called your comprehensive Zoom platform. Now what do I do now?
No, I think, David, you're right, because I've just read this ad that comes up, talk to your AI agent right in chat. And
Yeah.
it says to get help completing your work from custom AI agents that will have all the background and context from your chats. So that's
Right.
the only place that
Right, it has
the
memory.
context
Okay.
from.
All right, so this is Zoom. Let's rename this Zoom support. But see, again, I don't think this is, well, here are the skills. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, but Zoom chat, Zoom meeting, call content. All right, done. So now we'll schedule a meeting with availability, check my calendar today. I mean, I guess this is, yeah, check my calendar today. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, again, sue me, but I have my calendar right next to me over here. I can tell you exactly what I have in my calendar for today. I did not need this to do this. Like, this was not,
What if it was searching 30 delegate calendars?
that's different. Right. Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
David, for those of us that don't have any special Zoom AI licenses, what capability do you need to be subscribed to do what it is you were doing?
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything. Okay, so
No,
this is
no, I have
this
not
is
purchased
plain
anything.
AI Companion, which is no longer AI Companion. It's just AI, right?
But he got 500 credits. When those credits are gone, is he going to have to buy some credits if he wants to continue?
For sure. I'm
Okay,
sure I will.
so you haven't subscribed to anything, but it does
No.
consume some alternative resource that is not unlimited.
I don't remember if you were here last week, but we looked at the pricing model for additional credits, and
Yeah.
yeah, so even if you don't have it, you can buy credits and probably keep going with it.
So if I look in ZoomMate,
Anything ZoomMate is charged, Ray.
Yeah, ZoomMate requires a $20 a month minimum subscription, and
but you've got 500 credits in ZoomMate for starters. Everyone gets 500. Current plan ZoomMate Basic. You get 500 free trial credits. Oh, they took away forever. They took away remember it said free forever. They took that away. So I've used, but nothing that I just did cost anything. So I don't know where those.
Yeah.
You've almost used all your credits. Well, no, I really haven't actually, but that Zoom mate. Now, where was I before? Oh, that's just in chat. So I don't know what this is using, if it's using anything.
and I don't want to rag on Zoom because it's still early. But what I haven't seen yet is, and I'm signed up for a couple of the upcoming webinars. What I haven't seen yet is, okay, here's all the stuff that we're going to have out there, and here's the way the average person can use it, or even a corporate person. I don't know. Um, I have not bought any Zoom Mate capability yet, because in my current personal opinion of what I've seen, I can't just ask the same thing of Zoom that I can ask of Perplexity or Grok or any of the other, hey, tell me, the news today. Tell me what's the easiest way for me to get a pound of tomatoes for under $1. Whatever you're going to ask. When Zoom has all of that knowledge. Oh, by the way, I spent an hour yesterday in Perplexity building some requirements for a new app that I'm thinking of writing. And then I fed that into Bolt, and Bolt worked on that for half an hour and created the beginnings of an app. Can Zoom do that? If Zoom Mate is going to be able to basically do all of that functionality, I'll move all my AI stuff to Zoom. But right now I don't personally perceive that value yet. And I'm looking for it, but I don't see it.
I think the value lies. Sorry.
I was going to say, sorry, David, I was going to say that's not really where Zoom is going. Maybe it was too subtle for you to notice, but Zoom extracted some information about David's account. So Zoom Mate is integrated into Zoom, so you can ask it Zoom-related questions because it has access to the Zoom data. That's what makes it different from all the other tools, that it knows and understands the Zoom world, and you can ask it questions about your Zoom world, like, how many people what's the average number of people that attend my webinars? You can tell it, you can ask it questions, and it will go into the Zoom data to extract information. There's other tools can't. I expect this can do an open-ended question, but as there's free tools out there, I don't know why anyone would want to use this for, the simple questions which you can ask on your phone on any of these tools.
Well,
if that helps answer.
I agree that maybe it's just another tool, and I still need, my screwdriver and my pliers and my hammer. But the reality is, without some knowledge of outside of Zoom, I can't ask a question. When is probably the best time for the four of us to actually make travel plans to all meet in Chicago and have a good time, and then, learn some stuff and come back? So all of that weather, all of the, information about when are flights the cheapest and that sort of stuff. Zoom just knows, well, they've got availability a week from Tuesday. Let's go a week from Tuesday. And, if I'm going to spend $20 on Zoom a month, I don't really care that it doesn't have all that stuff. I'll continue to spend my $20 on Perplexity as well and use that. But if I'm going to spend a much larger amount on Zoom Mate in order to have it think for me, in the things I haven't thought of, then I need to see more value out of it. Just chiming in.
Well, I agree with you that having weather and access to some of that is super valuable. I think that the success of ZoomMate or any Zoom AI all comes down to, do you live in the Zoomiverse? If your contacts and your calendars and your chats and your docs and your meetings, I think Frank said maybe last week or the week before that, meetings are going to be the least important thing to Zoom at some point in the future. If you exist in the Zoomiverse, then having access, then knowing your Zoom life is really valuable. I don't know. I know very few people who are fully living in the Zoomiverse.
Well, from a corporate perspective, if you've got 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 employees, and you go, gosh, we really like this Zoom thing. We like our meetings, and we like our events, and we like our call center, and we like all of that stuff. And oh, by the way, they've got AI. Look, we can do stuff with AI. look at the bills that we were spending on AI outside of Zoom. How much of that cost can we save by using the AI that's within Zoom? And at that point, you're starting to really do an evaluation. I agree, kind of us at the tier 0, tier 1 level will sort of live or die by the $20 a month sort of a rule. But on the corporate level, the companies that have had the huge surprises in their AI bills are going to be looking for somebody that not only is less expensive, but actually integrates well with their entire platform. And that, to me, will be a big motivator for people to consider Zoom. I mean, in my, unusual view of the metaverse, I think Microsoft's kind of pulling back from AI, and Zoom is going all in on AI, and I think they could become the next, I don't know, the next. I hate to say the next Google, but I mean that the place where you go for a large corporation to have spreadsheets and documents and databases and integrated scheduling and calendaring and meetings and all of that, plus AI. That's a value proposition that I don't think is coming next year, but maybe the year after that. I have to think Zoom's heading there. And I don't know anything secret from the inside of Zoom. So, if they're already doing it, I don't know. No one's told me.
I just asked Zoom Mate because I can't find just Zoom AI. Oh, there it is. You have to go back to the homepage to find Zoom AI. But I just asked Zoom Mate. What's a good time to travel to Chicago for a family vacation? And it did give me best time is depends on your priorities, weather, crowds, and budget, but overall late spring and early fall are the most recommended periods. It then gave me why it's ideal, activities to do at each front, and your budget. So it does seem that it's able to go out a little bit. At least Zoom Mate is. Let me see if Zoom. I continue to be baffled by the difference between these two, but let me type the same thing in here into Zoom AI and see what happens. And it is going out. It is searching on the web, so it seems to be able to go out and do the regular stuff also. Frank, go ahead.
You could ask it the difference between itself and itself.
I can ask that. What's the difference between Zoom AI and Zoom Mate? Let's see what it says. Go ahead, Frank.
I'm going to illustrate a point in a roundabout way. Right now in Zoom Enterprise, at least my Zoom Enterprise, we have a lot of users, tens of thousands of users, and we get allocated a certain amount of storage space per user. So when I look at the bucket of storage space we have about 39 terabytes. Some people are very heavy users of storage, and there are tens of thousands of people who will never use any other storage. So it's just one giant bucket of storage, and there's no tools where I can say I'm restricting each user to a certain amount of storage regardless of how much we have left over. Or I could say I want to reassign some of the storage from one user who's not using their storage to a specific user who needs a lot more storage. For Zoom AI credits, so far I have seen no way to say I'm allocating credits to specific people unless I use groups or something. I've seen no way to calculate who's using too many credits. I haven't seen a lot of the things that if we're going to have to start paying for AI credits and tokens and things, they need some sort of an accounting system and user allocation system, and I haven't seen any of that yet.
I agree. I don't know if there's any information in here about that, but I did ask what's the difference between Zoom AI and Zoom Mate, and Zoom AI says the key difference is that they are not competing products; they are at different levels of the Zoom platform. Zoom AI is the broader AI portfolio and branding for Zoom's AI capabilities across Zoom products. Zoom Mate is a specific AI product within that portfolio. It functions as an AI teammate designed to search, automate, orchestrate work, and help complete tasks rather than simply assist with conversations. And then it tells me what it adds. It adds search across connected applications using agentic search, orchestrate workflows, generate content such as documents and presentations, help move work from meetings, conversations into completed action, and coordinate follow-up activities and automate portions of work. Zoom AI, it says, is the overall AI platform. Zoom Mate is the AI teammate, going back to Frank, what you said, and maybe Zoom Mate we'll see a bunch of Zoom Mates in our meetings come later this year, that actively searches, automates, and helps complete work. Okay.
Did that help?
Well, it did, except, and maybe this is by design. Maybe I'm not using it correctly. I put the same prompt into both, and I got equally good answers, I think. Maybe the difference is if I were that over here in Zoom AI, I can't build an agent, and over there in Zoom Mate, I can. Or actually, it's not in Zoom Mate; it's in Chat that I can. So again, so here I can build agents in Chat, but is this Zoom Mate now? Am I paying for this? Is this part of my 500? How do I, so Frank's point, how do I keep track of my 500? The only tracking that I seem to be able to see is over here when I go to Zoom Mate, and then no, it's not there. I don't even know where it is. Zoom Mate, and then, see, I can't even remember now where it is. Somewhere in Zoom Mate, I'm able to see, oh, there it is. AI credit usage. So this is, no, look at that. No, see, there it is. So my question, best time for Chicago family vacation? It used 0 credits. But was this in Zoom Mate or was this in the regular one? I think this is the Zoom Mate one. So I asked the same question, got similar answers, paid for it in Zoom Mate in credits, but didn't pay for it in over here. It's just, that's all.
Well,
it's just confusing. That's all.
It goes back to a number of marketing things that I've been in over the last couple of years since AI came out. We had marketing meetings with people from all over the Phoenix metro area here, and they pounded on the table. I just got to tell you guys, AI Companion is here forever, and it's free, and we'll never charge you for AI Companion. And okay, so they're changing the name. It's not AI Companion anymore. It's just AI. But there's that level of service that they'll get for free, no charge. And so I think that's, you don't see anything when you go in and ask that of just AI in a chat somewhere. But when you're in Zoom Mate, it's kind of interesting to me that that particular number came up 0 because it did not have to go out and read any of your owner collection of files and recordings and transcripts and all that sort of stuff. And maybe that's the difference. If you're just asking us to, go to the knowledge base and grab stuff, we're not going to charge you for it. But if you're going to do something and, what's the best time for my company to have a party? Okay, now we have to go out and check 10,000 schedules and figure that out.
Yeah, I do like the way the answer that regular Zoom gave me. I've got my sources, right here in line. I can click on them. It takes me right to the source. It's a good product. It's a good product. It's just the implementation and it's just a little confusing. John, did you want to jump in?
I'm probably going to just pre-record this because I'll probably need it all over the place. Zoom Mate is a agentic AI product. You're supposed to give it a set of tasks and it will go out and perform those tasks. And quite often it will repeat those tasks on a regular basis. So you might use it to take a report of your webinars and put it into Salesforce. Or you might take a set of results of a meeting, turn it into a set of slides, and present that to your next level of managers. It's an agentic AI. It's not a chat GPT. It's an agentic AI. It's there to do tasks and workflows, which is the phrase that Zoom uses a lot, which we haven't really got into. And it's supposed to take data from Zoom, somewhere in Zoom. I'll put it another way. Instead of poor Ray having to get a shopping list of things that he wants to do to get his data out of Zoom events, which they rush around to try and support, they can never keep up with the number of questions and things that he'll get from his customers. But using Zoom Mate has access to all that data. You can talk to it in English and it will go and read all the data within Zoom and give you those statistics. And I started thinking about all the shows that Mike and I have done the last, 7-8 months now. And I wonder what interesting data I could get if I started asking it about the content of all those shows. Yeah. How many ums and ahs do I have? How many times do I repeat myself? How many ums and ahs do I have? And see what it says, because that, I think, is when you start getting value out, which is very, very hard to define without AI. And that's, to me, that's where AI has value, where it's able to eat source information in English, convert it to some other summary information, and that's where I get the value. I often use AI just to check my code, not to write it, and I can give you a 5-hour story of why you don't want it to write your code just from scratch. But the number of times it will come up with things that I haven't thought of, that is so useful to me. That's valuable to me. And yeah, Zoom, I'm probably going to pay for it at some point. And that's the end of my dissertation for tonight. Thank you very much for watching.
I will say that you mentioned workflows. There is a separate option still called workflows. Presumably, these will maybe get rolled in. I don't know.
No, workflows work already.
I'm sorry?
Workflows work already.
No, I know that. But they're also not agentic. You have to just kind of build them.
Well, they're part of the agentic workflow. So in a workflow, you can say, when something happens, when I finish a webinar or whatever, when something happens, and then you give it your agentic set of rules of task you want it to do. So workflows are a good way to like pre-program the AI to go away and do these various things for you, this AI bot, whatever you want to call it, this AI agent. But you can create workflows, and the workflows can say when something happens, and there's a great big list of things you can do, including you can kick it externally with a URL, with a web link, and then it will go off and do these tasks. So if you had one to analyze all your webinars, you can actually kick it off with the URL, and then it will go and do that task and send the task answer wherever you want it to be, maybe sends it to you as an email or puts into your CRM. We were playing with those earlier this week, I think, Mike, weren't we? And you know, it's just mind blowing the number of things that you can do. I could do it in code, but it would take me forever. I can do it in a workflow, and it'd take me 5 minutes.
And presumably, the idea behind the agentic AI is that I don't have to build it out. I can just use natural language and say, "Hey, do this for me." Incidentally, Zoom, if you are listening, you missed one of the AI companion references on your workflows page on the left-hand side under Zoom products. Just you want to change that from AI companion to either Zoom Mate or Zoom AI. So, Frank.
I think Zoom is becoming a victim of its own success and dragging us all along with it. Zoom's always had, in my mind, some issues with their vocabulary, the reusing of same phrases in different contexts, too many product lines, and I feel like they're going down the same road again with this whole AI situation, which is, it's very confusing. There's overlapping things going on. Some of the terminology has specific context but sounds the same almost. How do regular people keep knowledgeable or learn this with all of the sort of chaos and sort of muddy water surrounding this.
Zoom has definitely become a beast, both in a wonderful way because it's so much functionality, and also because in a challenging way because it can easily get very overwhelming. Not even mentioning the naming conventions that they've chosen that are sometimes I think confusing. I agree with you, Lois. Go ahead.
So, as a regular user who's not programming anything or running a huge corporation or any of that stuff, honestly, when I get that confused about things, I just ignore it. I just go, well, I'm doing okay without it. So I'll just forget it. Honest.
Which is not what they want. They want us to be using their tools, or at least
Yeah. But
sharing
I
their
mean,
tools.
that's one of the reasons that I sometimes come on the Zoom Test Kitchen is that most of the folks here are really knowledgeable about Zoom and know how to use this and this little tweak over here. And I come on and go, oh well, that won't work for me. So
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think Zoom is a wonderful product. I really do. And I love the fact that we all discovered it when we were all housebound in COVID. And it's given us such a wider view of the world and a more connectivity than we've had available to us online. And so it's a wonderful product. But just like the Library of Congress, you can't know everything that's there. And so if you just pick out what you need and use what you want or what you think, and then you have this wonderful community here, and you go, I'm trying to connect this thing to this thing, and I don't understand how it works. And there are people there to help you, all because of Zoom.
I think the challenge that Zoom AI has, though, if I may, is it's one thing to be able to go out to the web and search information about when the best time for me to visit Chicago is. It's another thing to be able to search within my Zoom information and data, or the data that from an event that I hosted in Zoom, and then to either give me information or be able to act on that information. That's what for me, the baseline of what I need. And Ray, you just brought this to my attention with the image that you posted in the chat, is I want Zoom AI to help with Zoom. I wanted to be able to help with Zoom. This has been my biggest gripe about Google's AI, Gemini, is that I try and use it in Google Sheets and it doesn't know what to do. It's so frustrating to me that it can't even interact with its own tools. And so, Ray just posted that he asked, how are my credits for ZoomMate consumed? And the answer was, I can't help you with that, Dave. I'm not able to help you contact Zoom, but you can go to, and it gave you a link. And if you're looking for support, and that's great that it gave you a link, but you should be able to do better than that.
Give you a link to a chatbot.
And in the same place, I just asked, what are the integrations possible within ZoomMate? I mean, this is sort of a sales related question, or I'm looking to expand my use of Zoom. And it gave me the exact same words that it answered the previous question with, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So I guess that's one of the things that I feel that we jump the gun on when we think about AI is we want to be flashy and go outside and go deep, and what most users need, I feel, is how do I unmute? How do I access my Zoom credits? How do I questions about Zoom? And I'm sure that it can do some of them, but production studio is amazing, says John and Ray.
And Mike.
And Mike, now what new tools scared the crap out of you? Talk to us about that.
Well,
Is there any way for us to see this? I don't know if we can.
oh,
Can I
I-
do I
I
have
will-
access?
you do, do you have the events platform or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you do, but we would have to get you in there to do that.
So events.zoom.com. Oh, no, that's the caterer. Hold on.
That's like asking, can you take off your 747 to go to New York? And the answer is yes, but there's a whole lot of flight planning and ground crew support you got to get together before you can take off.
Gotcha.
Correct. But yeah, there was a lot of tools, or a lot of, I calling it toys, not necessarily tools. Well, it is tools, but it's, I would say more toys. There were certain, I compared notes with John on Tuesday, and if you're only running 7.0.5, you do not see the new tools in Production Studio unless you're running 7.1. So it's definitely a 7.1. You need the 7.1 Zoom Workplace app, and the Production Studio has moved away from. So the first thing that I noticed was it moved away from, if you go up to the top there where you usually have speaker gallery, dynamic gallery, multi-speaker and meeting, in Webinar Plus, you would have speaker gallery and usually Production Studio. That is moved. So now it's actually moved away from those choices, which is great, because now you actually have Start Production Studio as its own selection underneath there. So that was awesome, because what ended up happening there for me was that I always wanted to be in gallery mode, not speaker mode within the Workplace app. And I would forget, and I would start Production Studio. And if I wanted to change that to gallery now, I'd have to close Production Studio and reopen it again. So that's now gone. So that's great that was a great one for me. That was one. Another one was related to, now you can actually, as everybody sees us on YouTube right now, you can see my name down. Where am I? Down. Nope. Down there. Yep. There we go. Down there. And you see David's name down there as well, just below his head. Now you can actually disable those per scene. So if you want them on in certain scenes, you can have them on in certain scenes. If you want them disabled, you can actually have them disabled. So that's another one that was great. There's now, and that can be done in the, for those that are familiar with Production Studio, as David's still trying to get there. There's actually the video at the bottom. You'll actually have the video previews of all your different people that are, all your panelists that are connected. There's actually a new tab there now that has videos and also has titles. And if you click on that, that's where you enable disable per scene or per template if you want the titles on or off for that scene or template. How are you doing there,
By
David?
titles, you mean lower thirds?
I mean the title, the person's name. So your
Black and
Robert
white.
Zebedati would
The black
disappear.
and white bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also have the kind of the note card view. And I read about, but I have not played with yet, supposedly something that's more like lower thirds. And I will have time next week to hopefully play in that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. John, I would go back to you. I don't know if they've added, if you've seen that in the actual our account or not. Yeah. The lower third functionality. But we did not have a chance to have it on our Tuesday or Friday show this week.
So how do I get into Production Studio?
In the
Okay.
upper right-hand corner.
So I'm
No.
in backstage.
And you're
Trying to
in
get-
as
The,
what,
the
David?
little menu up at the top, the little sliding
all-
clapper,
all the way to the right, Dave. All the
the
way to
white
the right.
box
Okay.
with 3 dots underneath it.
Yeah, you were not in as host, are you, or co-host?
You
I
probably
should
didn't
enable Production
create a set
Studio
of
before you
scenes. Did you
started.
create a set of scenes, David?
I haven't done anything.
Okay, so Production Studio will not run unless you've created Production Studio scenes.
Okay.
And so that has to be done back in the editor before you start your
Okay. So how do I get, so here, register to join live session. Is that in here? Or is that,
in-session branding.
In-session branding?
No,
Keep going. To
you're
the right,
on the
to the
right
right.
place, to the right.
No, go back.
You were there.
Sorry.
There you go.
There
Production
it is.
Studio. So you turn that on, up, failed to toggle on Production Studio. Uh-oh.
Yeah, because Ray, I think because he's already, is he already
Maybe I'm
started?
already in it, you think?
Yeah, if he's
Oh,
already in
did
it,
you
he
leave
can't
that
turn it on
started?
again.
Yeah. You can't change some of these settings when the session's actually live.
Please
Correct.
deposit
That's-
500 credits.
Let me, I have no idea where it even is. Oh, where's, all right, let's just quit this.
I see. Yeah, as long as it doesn't quit us, we'll be fine. There we go. Good.
And webinar for all. Okay.
Yeah, you're
Great.
fine. It's okay that you can go back to it now. Now turn it on. There you
So
go.
there we go. So now we turn it on.
Add
Add
scene.
scene.
Go nuts.
Add a scene.
2 up, 3 up.
Yep. Let's do, we'll do this. I don't know why. New scenes are available. Okay. We'll call this a 4-up share. Okay. Save. Now I should be able to go back to my session.
Yep.
Dates and links. Or actually, I can just go, I could probably just start backstage, right? Yep. Open Zoom. Joining backstage. Okay, here we are.
Yeah.
So,
So now you have the choice of doing production studio backstage or on stage. Your choice.
wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
You have access to production studio either in backstage or on stage.
Right. So now where do I find it? Now that
Again,
I'm
top
back.
right.
Little clapper right there.
Open production studio.
There you go.
See, this is why we come to the kitchen. Preview,
go.
You might
reorder,
want to
or
be on the
disable
stage,
individual
David.
scenes here.
You sounded a little bit like Forrest Gump there for a second.
Preview scene, program scenes, drag and drop participants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. David, would you minimize the webinar in the background so that you
Yep.
can actually bring that up full screen for everybody?
Hold on a second. Minimize this and bring
Yeah.
make this full.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
And you might want to move yourself over to the right because there's
What
going
do
to
you
be a lot
mean,
of stuff on the
Whoops.
where you are.
Move
where
your
you are
circle.
showing your bubble, your circle.
Oh, my
Move your
circle. I'll just
overlay
turn my
bubble.
circle off. Sorry.
There you go.
All right. So we've got,
Okay.
so here's, let me just turn my video. How do I turn my video on? Give me a second here.
Okay.
Oh, so there are multiple windows within Zoom. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're doing this. So let me
Yeah.
quickly come over here and just turn on, just so we have some sort of video.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Now, why is that not?
Turn your video back on, I think.
David, you're backstage,
Looks
so you
like
won't be
it's
seen on the stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Go. Yeah. You have to, David, go back to
Yeah.
go from, you're in backstage. Now go from backstage on stage. Enter webinar.
Enter webinar. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
Oh my,
There
what you just did was amazing, David. It was amazing. You went from backstage to on stage and production studio window stayed up.
Yes. That's a brand new feature too.
I
I haven't tried that
before,
one yet either,
When
but
they
yeah.
made it available backstage, when you transitioned from one space to the other,
it would
go
die.
away. You had to restart it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I had to start from
That's
scratch
worth the
again.
price
Yeah.
of admission right there.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say, and now maybe it's just because I haven't started the webinar, but I'm not entirely sure why in the webinar you can see my camera when I haven't
No, we
sent
can't.
anything live yet.
No, we
No, we
can't, because
can't.
the right-hand side off there is what we see.
We're
What do
not,
you-
we're not, David.
We're
You're
not
saying
live show.
preview, not program.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, but
We're looking at preview.
no, but this is the webinar. I'm in the webinar here.
Right. But that's
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
But
I can see myself,
attendees
but no
will
one
not-
else can.
Right. attendees will not see anything. They will see the host is
Gotcha.
going to go live soon or something.
Yeah.
I
So
think.
now I can
Yeah.
send this live.
Yeah.
Send scene for the webinar. Yes. Okay.
So now,
now-
now that's program. So if we're talking preview and program, that is now program. That is not on air. That is now being broadcast in the webinar, but you haven't
Correct.
opened up the webinar yet.
Yeah, I have. Well, no, I haven't.
No, because it says start webinar. So nobody
Yeah,
is
yeah.
officially in the
But
webinar. yet.
why I wanted this scene to go live? Why did it only
It
put
did.
It did.
Because you only had one thing in the scene, and it
So it's-
compensated
right?
for the lack of screen share and 3 other people.
Add
Right.
percentage
Add
to
a screen share, Dave. Add a screen share, and then
Yeah,
you can
that's what I'm
present
gonna
that as
do.
well.
Is this a webinar that you can send a link to me and I can join? Or is this not? This is just a playground.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
Yeah, you can.
You need
Well,
And David will just
so-
have to be careful who he lets in, of course, I'll take David down for a second while he's spotlighting that.
No,
We
that's
can-
all right. As audience members can't cause trouble anyhow, can they?
Send live. There
True.
we go.
True.
Okay. So you can see what's happening here is, let me try and bring
Right.
that
You now
over
will
again.
see that there is a production studio person now that's joined the webinar.
Right. I'm trying to find my other Zoom window. Sorry.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah.
second.
Now everybody knows why I have at least three monitors when I'm doing production studio, and Ray knows that too.
Yeah.
Production studio gets its own. I've even had to sacrifice the client, and I actually.
Oh, no, you know what? So I was looking, sorry. I know what happened. So let me just explain why I was just confused, because it may be helpful. This has nothing to do with production studio. This has everything to do with screen sharing, which is why I can't stand Zoom screen sharing. Is as soon as I went into screen share,
Yeah.
the desktop took over and my meeting disappeared. Now it's right
Well,
here.
if you
it's
say
right here.
show webinar, if you click the show webinar button in the black bar right above the green and red bar, see the stop playing, go to show webinar to the right,
Yeah.
click that.
Yeah. And then it brought it back over here.
That will bring you back what we're all accustomed to seeing. That's now in all of the little share bar things. A show
Oh, even
meeting,
in
a show
meetings?
webinar. Yes, if you are screen sharing and you want to
Oh.
see what does everybody else see, or what does my gallery view look like, you can just click that again while you're sharing. And if
Ooh.
you've got 2 monitors, you can put them on separate monitors. You can
Wait,
drag
I
and
didn't
drop
know
them
that.
on.
Let me, that's really interesting. Where is screen share in this meeting? Where the heck is, oh, there it is.
David
Sorry,
not
it's the
only
top
has
one.
multiple monitors, he's got multiple computers and
Allow.
multiple sessions from
All
multiple
right, so here,
teams.
so now I'm going to
personalities.
screen share just because I want to see how that works. That's really interesting. I'll just screen share, whatever. I'll screen share this, doesn't really matter. Excuse me. So now I have, no, I don't have that.
Find your little green and red bar from that particular
Yeah,
computer.
I've got chat, Q&A, share, pause, layout, slide control. No, I don't have that in the regular meeting. At least
David
not
isn't in the more.
Yeah, no, I looked there also. Star focus, no.
Okay.
So in a regular meeting, it doesn't seem to be there. But it's that I would love to see that. That's a very nice feature, if you ask me. Because it really, when I share and everything disappears, it throws me for a loop every single
Now
time.
I'm going to throw this out here, and I know we always pick on David, but it is a PMI. Does that matter?
Yeah, it could be. No, it absolutely could be it. I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't know that answer because
Yeah.
I never run PMIs,
Yeah.
but I'm just throwing that out there. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, David, continue.
So in any case, I'll just say one more thing, and then please continue with why everything is so awesome, and tell me what to do. Is that, and this is something that they've talked about in Zoom production, is that it will reorganize itself based on what you put in here. So if you have the scene that I created has 4 people and a screen share, there's only one of me in a screen share. So that's why you can see in the production view, it is compensated for that.
Right. And David, shut off the share now. Shut off the share live and you'll see what happens.
Share. Right. And it brings me just to me. Right.
Right. So that's
Now-
important for everybody that produces that. All of a sudden, if somebody decides to shut off the share too early before you actually
Right.
take that scene off, this is what you'll get as a result.
Now you can't create scenes from production studio, right? You have to do that beforehand.
Once you're in, no.
Yeah. See, that to me is I
Well,
do that
again,
all
that's-
the time in Ecamm. I'm doing stuff on the fly all the time, but I get it. I'm just,
Right. This is where you would make sure that, as Ray has told us in the past, this is where you guaranteed you put in, what John and I were up to. How many, John? 15?
well, right. I mean, there aren't
yeah.
too many scene types. So you just create them all and pop them in there and then you have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
And you're not experiencing this in full because you're the only presenter, the only speaker here. But if you had a second speaker and that second speaker were to share something, you could choose to put yourself next to that share or the speaker next to the share. You
Mhm.
have those options. So the flexibility that you're looking for isn't in the layouts, but it's in what you can put
Yeah.
into those layouts in a very simple, quick way.
Yeah. And Robert, just to add with the 7.1, as you'll see now, if you take a look at David's, there you go. So there's your titles where you can enable and disable his name. So David, disable that. Now send it again live and you'll see your name disappeared.
Oh,
One more
Yeah,
time.
it doesn't take effect until you actually
right. You have to
send
push
the
live.
news.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Everything that's done in preview is literally
Yeah.
preview. This is a
But
true
you can't
preview
stylize,
program.
but you can't stylize
No.
anything back here.
No.
Yeah.
No. And that just lets you
Go
know
back- go
that
back
you're
to
about to
your-
be speaking.
David, if you would go back to your video for a moment, your video tab down there next to tiles down
Yes.
the bottom. And right click on your face right in there.
I don't have a right click.
Right click your
You
face,
don't have
dude.
a-
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
okay. So it's the context menu. You can't right click to get it. But now from here, the producer has access to all of these things, which normally you have to go find them on the participant window in order to make these changes. You want to rename them and that sort of thing. You have to do all of that there.
For every user you could. So does this mean that I can control blur my background for any user?
For
that's in here as a
any individual, yes.
Really?
Look at the one just below that, change name tag and virtual background.
Yep. So this came up now.
You need another participant.
Yeah.
Yeah, change
Pick
to the
me,
name
pick
tag. So
me.
you'll at least get the name tag and then click apply.
Yeah.
and
There it is.
Notice you get the name tag.
Actually,
Now that's interesting, by the way. I didn't have to click send live. That one just switched automatically.
I should have said panelist. You need another panelist.
Does someone want to be a panelist? How do I?
Lois
Yeah.
does.
Lois keeps having her hand up.
All right. Wait a
You
second.
know, Lois, she'll volunteer for anything.
Now, how do I?
You need to go
Yeah,
back
I will-
into the
and
way
I
you
will
set
answer
up
Tony.
the webinar and
Yeah,
add panelists and then
Wait. Say that again, Robert. I'm sorry.
go into where you set up the webinar in the portal.
Oh dear
No,
Lord.
it's okay. Send her a thing. You can promote her. Just send her a link and promote her. It's quicker.
Send her. Well, I
Yeah,
don't even
but-
have the link. I need to get the link. All right. Date and
He would have to
links.
register her, correct? Or does he have a group join link?
I didn't. There's no verification, so she should just be able to. I'll copy invitation. Oh God. Okay.
No, the link is fine, David. The link was fine.
Yeah. From back here, from right here.
No, where you were before, Dave.
This guy. Okay.
Just give me
All
the
right.
meeting ID and stuff.
No, you
Just
can't.
Put that in our chat.
Yeah. You can't just use a meeting ID. It doesn't work that way. All right, so I
Then
put it in the
why would
chat.
it put that in your invitation if it doesn't work?
I don't know.
It had meeting ID and passcode.
I think I set this up to only have 2 people, so I'm not just so you all
Okay,
know.
I'm leaving and joining his meeting. Bye.
Goodbye. We'll miss you.
Miss you already.
Miss you already.
So I'm just answering Tony. Tony's loving what he's seeing, and he says, "What is the cost of what you are currently using?" And the official answer is free with Webinar Plus and Events Platform. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Harwood.
Well, it's a built-in function of Zoom Events and Webinars Plus. The real question is, what does it cost for Webinars Plus if I just want to use Webinars Plus? There are 2 answers to that. There's a subscription version, which makes it around $1,000 a year for up to 100 participants. Or if you want to do the pay per attendee, you're only going to have a couple of meetings with 10 or 15 people each. You can do the pay per attendee, and it costs you $2 or less per person who attends. So if you're going to have, 100 people, it's a couple $100.
Apparently that didn't work because she's back in our meeting. Lois, are you there? Someone else can click on the link if you want. I don't know if oh no, she's gone. No, she's not gone. I can try and join from another computer. We can't hear you, Lois. She's looking for the if you click on your screen, you should see the mute button at the bottom.
I tried to join that meeting and I got a message that the event capacity has been reached.
The event capacity has been reached, yeah, because I set it up for 2 people. Sorry. I didn't want to use all my credits. Hold on, can I change it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're still PPA. That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, wait a second. I'll change it. Hold
General
on.
configuration. Over on the far left, general configuration.
General configuration. 2 attendees. Change this to 5. Okay. So now let's see. Try now if you all want to join.
It's interesting that it consumed 2, and I wonder who those 2 are. And production studio shouldn't count. So far, it's only really been you, David.
Yes, I agree.
And David, just to let everybody know, you do have registration turned on.
On the button.
No, it's not. So I didn't turn registration on, but apparently you need to put your email first and last name in.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
that's not registration. That's just for the terms of service, I believe.
David, this is Lois, and I am waiting in the waiting room of the webinar. It said it will begin soon.
Yeah, you haven't started it, David. You've got to
You haven't
start
started
the
the
webinar.
webinar.
Well, I know that.
So many directors, eh, David?
Oh, by the way,
Okay,
sorry.
take 12.
Look at this, guys. So check this out. Lois, hang tight. Production studio is counted as
Yes.
a participant.
Yes.
Well, it's in the participant list. It should not count against your
What about the attendee box?
yay.
Yeah, you see 2 waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
So start your webinar and see if you
So I can't get to the waiting room until I start the webinar? Okay.
correct. You can't get in the waiting room for a
All
All right.
webinar.
So
right.
there's Lois.
All right.
So she's in. So I'm going to allow Lois to talk.
Or you
Yeah.
can promote her to a panelist.
Actually, promote her to panelist. Promote one of them or both of them to panelist.
I'll get rid of my phone connection.
Okay. So I think I promoted you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
There's a delay because when you promote to panelists, they have to agree to be promoted. That's why it doesn't happen instantly.
No, it's not that. There's a pop-up that I didn't see. Okay, so now I've told both of them that they can be. Here we go.
Here I come.
Here he comes.
Yeah, I don't have any video on that yet. I'll work on that momentarily.
Lois is still in the backstage, she says.
Yeah, you can bring her to the stage yourself, David. If you click on the three dots, you can move her. The three dots over her, that's it. Move her to the webinar.
Now, why did she not automatically come over?
Because usually automatically guests are put into the backstage. That box that you popped up with,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah,
have
yeah,
chosen
yeah.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you promote somebody, you get two things. You get the person who did the promotion gets asked whether they want to put them backstage or normal stage. And the person being promoted a panelist has to confirm that they want to be promoted.
Right.
That's why there was a delay in moving people.
So there we go. Lois, we can't, oh, wait a second.
Me?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and speak. They can hear you now. You won't be able to hear them, but they can hear you. Can you hear me, Lois?
I can now hear you, David. I couldn't until just this moment.
And they should, and folks in Zoom test session, you should be able to hear her. Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So you can't hear
cool.
them, but they can hear you.
Okay. I can't hear or see them because I'm not in that meeting.
Correct.
I'm only in this meeting.
So can you, Lois, can you do me a favor? Could you screen share for me? Do you have something you could throw
Sure.
up on a
I
screen
can
share?
screen share.
That would be
Let's
able to
do it.
kind of see what that looks
What have I
like.
got? That'll work.
And,
And I'm gonna-
then David,
while
you
you're
could
do-
actually right click each of these guys and give them the little display thing down at the bottom so their name's just not in black and white.
Right. Change name tag and virtual background. Yep. For her. You have to do it one at a time.
You can actually
Um,
preset these in the web portal as well, so that you don't have to do it live.
Are you seeing my, oh shoot, there's my phone. I'll be right back.
Well, now she. All right. So now we've got. So it's interesting. Lois.
Turn it off.
That was interesting. When Lois turned her video off, she stayed on the screen,
Yes.
but her name tag changed to back to the default. See that?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. It's interesting to me that they would keep her on screen when she
Major
turned her
detail.
camera off. So wait, so now I have
But
to.
but you're choosing who gets to be on there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now wait a second.
So whatever is coming from Lois, that's what you're going to put
No,
up.
no, no,
whether
no, no, no.
Lois is sending
I-
you a video or a still or a stare.
No, what I was saying is that when a speaker turns their camera off, I would expect for the speaker to disappear from the program feed. But
Really?
instead, well, yeah, because the camera's off. But instead, the static image stays there and the name tag changes back to the default one. But before we go any farther, can I just ask? So how
I'm
do I
sharing
get? Hold on one. Yeah, I know you are. That's what I want to get. How do I get? Oh, here we go. Replace presenter. Okay, so replace presenter.
David, here,
Yeah,
David, watch the, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you want to do the share, that's like that. But if you wanted to replace the order of us on the very left,
Yeah,
you can actually see the toggles in the preview.
yeah.
That's brand new. So toggle yourself off and you'll see all of us will move.
Right.
Okay. So keep going, keep
You have to
toggling
send
off.
live. You have to send
And
live.
now
yeah.
there you go. So that has been a very beautiful addition for me because the
Yeah.
only way I could do that was to go up to each individual one and hit the
turn it-
three dot and do a
and
do a
remove.
there.
Yeah. So this is
So
for
Dick
the
was
screen
able-
share, for Lois's screen share, the way I got that is you have to click replace, and then you choose the person who's going to be presenting the screen share.
Right. And this is
Right.
where you
So-
would have multiple of these and
Hold
you
on,
could
Lois.
actually have people doing it. Right. This is
Right.
where you have a different scene.
So-
But since you have one scene, that's the way to do it. Go ahead, Lois.
So no, I'm not leaving. I have a question.
Wait, Lois, can you hear them?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I can hear Mike. I
This-
can only hear Mike.
This is actually working. Okay.
Mike is in the meeting, in this meeting, in the webinar.
Oh, that's
So
why you.
You said, yes, and you said that David was able to go and click something and be able to see the share as the people would be seeing it. Where is that button? And is that only in a meeting or is that in this webinar?
So at the top of above the green little share thing bar on your screen, see
I don't have a green share bar. Oh,
So-
here we go.
The
Down
red
at the
and green
bottom.
bar?
at the top of
Down
your
where
share.
it says show webinar.
Yes, click that.
There we are.
Yeah. That's
That's
the
not
button,
right.
Ray. That's what I want in meetings. That's a great button.
But it's not showing what he's showing.
No, you should see
It's
the
showing
three of
speak-
us plus the screen share because that's what's live.
Now,
Not true.
what I
Not-
see is
not
this-
true because the
I see this.
panelists do not see the presentation view. The panelists see
Oh,
sort of a normal
panelists.
panelist type view.
So Lois, I
You
don't think
can't
you
hear
could
me,
hear
so-
that.
So
Panel-
I'm in speaker mode here.
No,
Let me see. Okay,
but-
I can move to gallery.
No,
view.
Lois. Panelists don't see the production with the screen share.
attendee
You
view.
see what's essentially
Oh,
a
yeah, but I
regular
Lois
can
will
view.
do,
see the
actually.
production
It's one of
studio
the-
icon. Lois
So
will
it's
see
one
the
of the
production
four
studio icon,
screens.
and that's her. What her
Mhm.
view of what everybody else is seeing.
Attendee view is the name of it. And there are four things on my window. There's Lois, David, Mike, and then this
Oh,
clock.
so you can't see it. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, but
You
I
can
haven't figured
pin
out
that
how to.
first-
Oh, and I
You
can
can
pin that.
first
All
one.
right.
Yes.
Yes, there we go. So now I know how to work on it, but I never use webinars, so it doesn't matter.
Boy, the thing that's killing me, it's my own fault, but the thing that's killing me is that I can't create scenes on the fly.
Yeah, but you can actually make.
That's the only thing.
So you have to think
David-
ahead, David.
David,
No, I know.
David, you
Okay.
can make some changes. In the preview on the left, you can remove Mike or you can remove yourself.
Right.
And again, that's what the toggles that I was
Okay.
talking about.
And,
So if
and
you just
note that nothing has changed. And okay, now you've sent it across. But
Right.
before you sent it across, you still had the same old layout on the right.
Correct.
So now you change the layout on the left in the preview, and when you're satisfied that it's the correct layout, then you send it across. You can remove the
And-
the
Oh,
share
I see
screen
what
or
you're saying.
choose.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So you can't change the layouts because you only have one, but you
Right.
can change what you
Yeah.
put into the different spaces in the layout.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you can't stylize the titles at all, can you?
No.
No.
Oh.
Yes, you can. Just a minute. It's all part of the branding, which you do.
But on the back end, you have to do it.
You have to do it beforehand at the back
Right.
end. And
Branding. Yeah, you can do it here. I see.
So here's a question for the group. Is this a good ring to buy?
depends what you're doing. If you do webinars,
I'll stop sharing now. Shall I stop sharing, David?
Sure. Well, they can't. Yeah, that's fine. Wow, this is very cool. All right. I've never actually gone into webinar production studio. This is very cool.
David, at
So
the
what
top right,
happens?
there's another feature too. Go ahead, Lois.
Oh, she's gone. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Good.
yeah, okay. So yeah, if you click on that button at the top there, you'll see that the actual preview screen will actually go bigger than the program. So that
Yeah.
was that freaked me out a little bit. So that's where I was saying that I got freaked out because by default that's what you see when you go in. And of course I was expecting them to be both the same size, so I didn't want to touch anything before we went live. So
Gotcha.
that was one of the okay, you got my attention, then there must be new toys here.
If you click it again, does it go big for the production side? No.
No,
Oh.
no, it just
Preview.
goes small on the production side and preview just gets big. That, or it goes back to what 7.0.5 has, right? Which is same size for both.
What's interesting is I hear Mike's voice, but in the view of this webinar, it says Mike is muted.
No, you're hearing him through the regular Zoom because you can hear other people also. You can hear Ray
No.
before. You can't hear
Oh,
Ray
yes,
saying-
that's true.
Yeah.
No.
No, I have
How's that
bidirectional
happening?
because
Yeah,
I have audio going both ways to both meetings.
So
Yeah.
what is YouTube seeing?
YouTube is seeing right now, is seeing David's production studio screen, not what we're seeing in the webinar.
Right. They're seeing my screen, but they're able
Which
to
is
hear
just
everything.
David, right?
No.
No, it's David doing the production of what we are seeing in Webinar Plus.
Okay. Well, I think I want to go back to the regular meeting.
Let's go back to the regular meeting. That would be very nice.
All right.
This
We'll
is
have
really
to check
cool.
out and check in again because I can't just switch.
No, you cannot just switch.
All right.
Bye. End webinar for all. That was fun.
David, you actually jumped the gun there because
Uh-oh.
if you don't have to end the webinar for all, what you can do is end the webinar for the attendees
Right.
and leave the panelists there and have your post-webinar
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's actually very
Briefing
useful.
session.
Yeah, I saw that.
David, can you see why we have suggested in the past that running this Zoom Test Kitchen in that platform would be a great way to live?
Yes.
Not we. Ray suggested this about 2 years ago.
Yes. And it also it puts up a few barriers to participation. It
Means
it's,
that people who come in here aren't part of the group they have to be invited and promoted and all this other stuff. Right now, if someone comes into the Zoom Test Kitchen, they can come in, they can ask their question, they could just be part of the group. I think that's one of the benefits, one of the good things about us.
yeah. I'm going to pass this to Mike for just 2 minutes to keep us going.
Alrighty.
And do you find anything else in Production Studio that was mind blowing?
What else did I find in Production Studio? The differences is between 7.0.5 as well, that anybody that has used Production Studio for that version, the naming of each scene or template, I'm trying to remember what Zoom uses as the terminology. Ray, is it scene? Each
Well, I don't
one?
know what you're referring to yet. The scene
Okay.
is the individual layout, and a template is a group of 5 to 50 layouts that you can replicate in.
All right.
session.
So yeah, so when Zoom terminology then so the scene names now are underneath each thumbnail now, where they were not on 7.0.5. And Ray just gave me a big 2 thumbs up after that. So yes,
No.
where before the naming used to be in the preview screen only, now that they actually added the name of each scene under each thumbnail on the very left-hand side that you guys were seeing when David was showing you. Even though he only had the one scene and he named it, it was right underneath the thumbnail.
Can you sort
Mike.
the scenes?
Can you sort the scenes?
You can
I
move
haven't.
them. You
can move
you
them.
can change the order.
Is it changed by how you name it? In other words, is it listed alphabetically or is you manually move it?
They are typically put in the order that they're created, and if you decide you want to create a new one at the bottom, but by the logic, that should be like the third one. You can slide it up and move it.
I have a question, totally basic question. Oh, by the way, hello, Leo. Totally basic question is, who has access to the thing that David was just playing with? Do you have to be a special whoop-de-doo, or can a
Hosts and
normal
co-hosts
Hosts and co-hosts of the
Of
webinar
what?
plus, of the webinar plus.
of the webinar.
It's a different product, Lois.
Oh,
than
So
Zoom
you have
meetings.
to have a different,
Let me let me go back for a moment. In order to have access to Production Studio in general, you have to have either a Webinars Plus or an events license.
Great.
Once you're
Thank you.
in the webinar, and it only works in webinar, it does not work in meetings, but once you're in the webinar and you're wanting to make control of Production Studio, you have to be a host or a co-host.
Good.
That was the question I thought you were first asking.
So
but
this
yeah.
was all very interesting and has absolutely no relationship to 90% of the people in the world.
Probably 95, maybe higher.
Meetings and webinars are similar but have different purposes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's more of the layout. You know, if you're having a meeting when it's like one-on-one or one-on-many and you want everybody to have access to everything, great. Or if you're in a seminar type of scenario where webinars comes into play in a physical situation is if you've gone to an event, you're sitting in the crowd and you have people on stage, that would be more of a Zoom webinar or Zoom webinar plus type of scenario. Because it has the same functionality of not everybody can speak at any time. It has the, you know, if you do want to ask questions, you saw you could be added as a panelist, or you could actually have their microphone unmuted so you can actually ask your question. It would be equivalent to having a mic in the room where you go up to the microphone and ask your question. Similar situations as that. Thank you, David, for that. And go ahead, Frank.
Changing topics for a second. Did anyone else get access to the new Zoom group experience in their admin center? I did. It was supposed to be available a few days ago. It only showed up today. Just wondering if anyone else got access to it.
I got a prompt asking me if I wanted to or not, and me and myself, the two users on the account, don't need it.
All right. Yeah, once you migrate to the new experience, you can't migrate back. So anyways.
Where is this? So I can do it and screw my whole thing up?
So if you're in your web portal for admin, it's under users, and when you expand users, it'll be groups, and there should be a banner mentioning there's a new experience available, but it may not have rolled
Frank,
out to everybody.
Oh, you know what?
Frank,
I
you want to
actually,
explain the benefits of?
yeah, I actually saw that, but then I went here and I didn't have it. So.
I'll try to explain it. It's a little complicated. The way groups used to work in Zoom prior to this was a little bit limiting in that you were creating groups that basically addressed all of the licenses in your account. And now you can be more granular about who is in a group, how many groups they can be in, which group restrictions take impact on a user, and you can also have sort of more granularity about what product licenses they have access to. But I haven't actually migrated yet. I did. There's a migration test that you can do to see if there's any conflicts. I did the migration test, said there weren't any conflicts, but I'm still digging into all the documentation, so I don't want to do that until I understand it better. But it seems to address some of the concerns I had about the old group experience, which was it was kind of cumbersome the way they had it.
So you sort of hoping to find a resource allocation in these new groups, Frank?
No, I didn't even look for that. Somebody posted in the chat today about credit allocations in the admin center, and I don't have an admin center, so I'm wondering if this documentation is talking about another Zoom product that's not like the normal, Zoom meetings and webinars. Maybe it's the like Zoom has all those other products, because I don't see any of the things that were posted in the chat about credit allocation. Although maybe I don't have a specific setting turned on in Zoom about AI that maybe it doesn't reveal itself unless you turn it on.
I'm looking through the AI settings, and I'm not seeing if there's anything about manage. No, I'm not seeing if there's anything about that getting that data. Boy, there are a lot of settings in here for AI, though.
David, while you're looking, Leo would like to add in Leo from the car.
Leo?
Leo from the car, absolutely. I was just going back on Lois's question about or giving examples of when you use webinar over meetings, because you're absolutely right. 95% of meetings you don't need webinar, but where you do use webinar particularly is when you want to control how guests are involved or not involved. So particularly if you're doing something that's in a political environment or in a sensitive environment, you just don't want to give ability for thousands of people to be able to sit on the stage. You want them to be sitting in the audience and watching, and webinar works really well in that environment.
And it also allows you, Leo, if I can just add to that, you can stop people from seeing each other's names, turn the chat off completely, and there's a lot of privacy things that you can do to hold on.
Absolutely. The whole concept of it can't not Zoom bomb a webinar, but I think you'd be pretty hard pushed to do it. I mean, you can do it in the chat, I guess, but the whole element and concept of Zoom bombing, to my knowledge, is not able to be done in Zoom webinar.
Yeah. And Leo, do you remember what the limit on the number of attendees you can have in a webinar?
Oh, massive.
I know it's
5,000.
No, it's more than
5,000 plus.
It's
I think
it's
it used to be
50,000, and with special arrangement, you can get up to 100,000.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But simple, not pushing it too hard. I think it's 1,000 plus just to do a simple webinar, isn't it? You don't have to have a special license. Once you,
a webinar license, if you have the webinar license, you have the capacity of 500 people. Not webinars plus, but a webinar license, $79 a month. And for $79, you can have up to 500 people. If you need the next jump up to 1,000, that monthly price goes up relatively significantly. I mean,
I think, Ray, you can do it on a per meeting as well, if I remember rightly. It's a long time since I've used webinar, because I don't use, I as others will know, I use StreamYard for that sort of environment, because to me, when you nail it between the webinar and StreamYard wins for me, because I've got much more control. Or that may have changed, but I can do all the production better in StreamYard. And it's exactly the same experience, really, from the end user.
I'm not familiar with StreamYard, and my understanding of StreamYard is that you don't have the ability of people to actually interact into the Zoom chat. You may have some external chat that you can do with that, but yeah, certainly if you don't mind people using other tools, but for most of my clients, it's like, we don't want to have to log into anything else. We just want to get into Zoom. So that works for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. That's entirely it. Yeah.
Yeah, so StreamYard has its own webinar feature. So you get 1,000, I get 1,000 seats. The other platform, not needing to go to YouTube, not needing to go to anything. Each of those seats is, you can either set it to be straight in with no registration, or you can put registration on there. And then once they're in, they're presented with a environment, with a screen, with a chat feature that they've authenticated into. So it is similar, but I'm not, I know there's just reasons. There's just things, I used to use Zoom webinar a huge amount in the past. Because we were getting Zoom bombed, and it was the simplest answer to get out of the Zoom bombing issue at the time was to go to webinar.
Yeah, and again, to Leo, I don't think you've actually gone to Webinar Plus, which is different again, right? So webinar is a little more limiting than Webinar Plus too, where you could actually, if you really wanted to do the full production, like you are, let's say you're using some sort of video switching at your venue and you want to send up that encoded feed, RTMP, you could actually RTMP to Production Studio if you wanted to. It could come in as a source, or you could actually just RTMP in to any of the different Webinar Pluses as well, Production Studio or not. So that capability, but again, that's Webinar Plus, that's not Webinar. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a huge amount of sense. It makes a huge amount of sense that they're doing this, because it's, you've got to like everything in the world, you have to innovate to stand still. And Webinar Plus sounds like they've done some innovation there, so it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So we're actually getting a comment in chat that are actually saying focus mode and host controls helps in meetings. Sure. Anybody want to make a comment? Ray, maybe make a comment comparing that to a webinar, maybe?
Authenticated users is a really important security measure if you don't want to have Zoom bombers.
Yeah. I haven't used focus mode other than testing it once or twice. But Frank's point is really well made. Really authentication fixes 99% of things. And the 1% that it doesn't fix is someone who legitimately has an account with Zoom and goes in and misbehaves. Zoom knows exactly who they are. They can go in and find them. It's not like someone just clicked on a link and came in and started flipping the raise hand thing or anything like that.
Right. And just to give a small plug to Mr. Drinkwater, there's an app for that in the Marketplace app.
Yeah.
If you do need that Zoom bomber that all of a sudden figured out, oh, if I raise my hand and lower it all the time, it keeps popping me up to the top and annoy the host people.
The other place that I really like authentication, in Zoom events and Webinars Plus, there are two types of authentication. One is registration authentication. So you can actually require them to either have a Zoom account or have a Zoom account or get the 6-digit code. So if they don't have a Zoom account, they can put in an email address, get the 6-digit code, which proves that they actually have access to that email account. There's another checkbox of whether authentication is required when they join the meeting or the session. Those people that have really had issues, they go, oh, that's too much friction. We don't want people to have to, but then what do I do about this? And, if you've got bad actors, the only way to get rid of them is to not let them in and just use the authentication.
While I'd agree with you there, you've got to always ask yourself why you need people. I mean, we always used to say that you've got to compare, do you want the audience on the stage or do you want the audience sitting in the seats? And, Zoom effectively means that all the audience is sitting on the stage. Why do you want to do that? Why do you need that? It sounds a great idea, but, I do a lot of work in houses of worship. You don't want everybody up on the stage.
Leo, with respect, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not being rude. You are saying that everything in Zoom is Zoom meetings. There are many different versions of Zoom, and you are talking about everything you're talking about is Zoom meetings. It's not Zoom events. It's not webinars. It's not Webinars Plus. If you run all your meetings in Zoom meetings, there are ways to lock it down. You can stop people Zoom bombing. You can stop people doing all those things, even in Zoom meetings. But the product you're describing is something of which I recognized from about 5 years ago, not today. Zoom is very different today.
You're missing my understanding. What I was saying is my whole point was to say these are why those products exist now, rather than saying that the answer is that 95% of the only product anybody ever uses is Zoom meetings. And my point is that if you're doing production, it isn't just Zoom meetings. There are lots of other alternatives from it, as you've just said, Zoom production, Zoom webinars, etc. I'm agreeing with you. You shouldn't be if you're doing big productions, not do them in meetings.
Robert, go ahead.
I particularly like Webinar Plus when we're doing hybrid events. And if I've got the backstage and Zoom production studio, then if I want to promote an attendee and bring him on board, I can bring him onto the backstage, verify him, check him first before I put him on the screen, which you couldn't do with the standard version of Zoom Webinar. So that's one cool feature. And the other feature thing about Webinar Plus that I like is the amount of reporting and data you can get out of the who attended how long, when he joined, if there's any interaction during the meeting. I mean, Josh has done a lot of work in preparing us to look at the data, but there's so much more work to be done there to understand what is actually going on at the attendee level. Oh, and the certificates, yes, Ray, thank you. The certificates are such a brilliant idea. I'll be very honest, though, I haven't used them, but I just like the whole concept so much. It makes things a lot easier.
The only place, Robert, that I really wanted to use them was for my nursing conference, and the multi-session certificates weren't available back in April when I had the nursing conference. But my understanding is that they are out in this June release, so I can't wait to try that.
Yeah. I'm preparing now for a hybrid event where I want to use Zoom events with the certificates so that we can register even the on-site attendees through Zoom events, issue them tickets, and then issue them certificates. It all becomes very easy to do when it's all in one place. Previously, we had several people having to deal with this.
Robert, I'd be very interesting in talking to you about how you do that for the on-site people. Just how do you know that they were really there just because they checked in at the front desk on day one? I mean, especially if it's a multiple day type of a conference or something like that. But yeah, let's talk about that.
Good questions. Robert, go for it.
There's a couple of things that we've thought through. We haven't done them yet because this is the first time we're going to be doing it at a large event. But definitely we're going to be scanning the users, the attendee badges with barcodes as they come in and go out from the main event hall. So we will have that dropping out and coming back in effect that you have on an online event. How we actually integrate that and how we use that, we're not sure yet. We're still thinking that through. And the reason I talk about barcodes because, scanners is we use scanners for interpretation. When we hand out these little units for the interpretation, they have a barcode on the back, and we just scan the barcode, scan the badge, and within a couple of seconds, you've matched one with the other straight away. As long as you have access, and this is the key here, is you have to have access to the badge records. And privacy, there's a lot of privacy issues there that have to be dealt with.
And something's telling me, and Ray, I'm going to need your help on this. Is there not badge capability within the events platform, or is that not there yet?
Yeah,
there is. Yeah, I thought so.
It's there. There's a rudimentary. I want to say, it works. There are other companies that have some add-ons to it that seem to do a bigger thing, but I've not used it.
Yeah. So Robert, is that what you're planning on doing then? Is integrating that badges from the events platform?
I don't know. We've got an external badging system with printers, and you effectively have these printers laid out all over the place, and you just go in, print out the badge, and it comes out, and it's got all of the holds made, and you just put them on, and people take them out. They're very easy. You've also got that. We've also got a company that we work with that has these what are they called? Self-service type locations where you send them out a link, they come in, and they take the link and they have a QR code in the email that they receive. They come and scan the QR code, and that prints out the badge straight away. There's a lot of stuff, but we don't have that ourselves. We always outsource it because it's just too much to handle. But it's really good for big events.
Right. Go ahead, Frank.
This is to anyone. Zoom also has, sadly, using the word companion. For hybrid events, Zoom has the Zoom Companion app that allows the hybrid participants who are at the venue to answer quizzes, polls, and chat, but not to use their microphone or camera. Have any of you guys used that?
Yeah, I used it at, I didn't use it in an event I produced, but I was there at Zoomtopia 2004. And that was a great little feature.
So polls and quizzes are a way to check attendance too. Like right now we're going to do a quiz. Everyone get your phone out. Oh, I see you didn't answer the quiz question, right?
You know, the challenge or the risk that we haven't taken when trying it out, Frank, is that when you get 5,000 people that come into an area and they're all on Wi-Fi or using,
yeah, that's a lot of people. Yeah,
that's a lot of people at one time.
Yeah, for sure.
And basically they're all on 2.4. The majority of them are still on 2.4. For all the professional stuff, I don't mind because we got 5 gig equipment for that. And we can set up different access points with different.
Oh no, that's definitely a real concern, bandwidth, when you've got that many people.
And I did a little bit of inquiry about will Zoom Mesh help that, and the answer is no. Zoom Mesh won't connect to mobile devices.
See, back in the day, we used to hand out clickers, and you'd have the people in the audience with the clicker, and they would answer questions that would show up on the screen or whatever, right? But that's even considered kind of old-fashioned now.
Okay, everybody went quiet on me. Sorry, I was busy texting with their people in chat. Okay, cool. Where should we go next? Okay.
Well, John Ellison just came in. Maybe he's got a question.
There we go. Mr. Idelson, are you there, sir?
I thought he's been here the whole time. Maybe he's just listening.
He might be just listening. I know Hasmuth just actually rejoined us again too. So hello, Hasmuth, as well. All right.
No, Hasmuth's at his desk. He's fallen asleep.
Oh,
I think that's a cake, isn't that?
That is his cake. Yeah.
Too much golf.
Yeah, too much golfing. That's right. That's true. On that note, if you have any questions for us on and to my black screen, how about that? Let's try that again. One more time. Nope, still doing the black screen.
Still works.
Still works. I swear it'll work. There we go. I'll hit the button now. There we go. If you have any questions for us on YouTube, let us know in YouTube chat, and I will relay it to our panelists so that we can answer your questions, especially if it's related to anything that you saw on 7.1.
I haven't seen 7.1 yet. I've upgraded, but I'm on 7.05.
Okay. And again, Robert, so what you saw today that David was showing you in Production Studio is 7.1 only.
Where do you get 7.1 from? It's not available in my region.
Oh, really? I'm on 7.1.
Yeah, interesting.
I upgraded. You know, when I went out at the beginning of this meeting, Zoom Test Kitchen, I went out to upgrade because I'd promised that I'd upgrade, and I hadn't done it, so I came back. Very risky.
And it only gave you 7.0.5.
Yep.
But Zoom does that, right? They release things in different waves regionally, right?
Yeah.
And there's a prerequisite sometimes to get to a specific version. You have to get to another version before you get there. So what was your version before you got to 7.0.5?
Do you really want to know, Ray?
That's the reason you went to 7.0.5 before 7.1. That explains it.
So you're saying if he updated right now, he'd probably get to the latest version, right?
I believe so.
You just keep pushing that button that says, "Is there an update? Is there an update?" And
Yeah,
once
that's
it finally says, "Hey, you're updated," then you're updated.
That's the
Hey.
second time I've heard this evening, that you just keep pushing those buttons.
Yeah, and that's when all of a sudden we magically go off air. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, David.
That's why
David,
I got a Stream Deck XL. I got so many buttons to push.
look out.
Oh, good question.
Oh.
Sorry, John, since you raised the topic of
Oh.
Stream Decks. Are Stream Decks now usable on Zoom Production Studio? Not using your app, but standard?
They have not at this point added that feature.
Says John when he has camera issues all of a sudden. Yes. Isn't love live fun? Okay. I'm hitting wrong buttons. John's hitting wrong buttons. Cameras are falling off. Johnny, you want to try that again? Go for it. Oh, he's thinking about it. And there he is.
First to my previous answer. They haven't integrated it yet.
I pressed the update button and it says that 7.1 is now available.
Ta-da! Look at that. If you want to go for it and come back, Robert, go for it.
No,
I'll
it's
let you in, I
downloading.
promise.
It's downloading.
It'll
But-
change your life, man. It's so amazing.
That's what I'm worried about.
Go ahead, John.
So you get the back scratcher upgrade. It's fantastic.
If we have a minute, I'd talked some time back about getting one of these. This is a HDMI to NDI.
Zowie.
convert. Yep. And people had asked me for some feedback. Now, let me tell you that the main difference between a Magewell and this is that you connect a Magewell and it works. With this, you connect it and you've got to spend a couple of hours configuring it because it doesn't do anything automatically. It doesn't auto sync to anything. You've got to play with all the settings and know exactly what specifications of the inputs and the outputs that you require, set it up, and then it works. Once it works quite well. It has a little fan underneath it, which is pretty noisy, and a little display on the front to tell you what's going on.
Will it bypass HDMI or HDCP?
I don't know. I didn't test that.
Because lots of times there's issues trying to get video signals out of laptops because of HDCP or even EDID handshake problems, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
About
good.
that, but it worked perfect when if you look at the Mimo Live at NAB, we used two of them to access computers. That's where all the graphics and slides came from on our Mimo Live at NAB page. You see two of the Zowie Wowies.
Wonder if it's rebadged from some other company.
Wowie zowie.
You look like you know something and you can't say it.
Well,
Blink
you
twice
know.
if you're being held hostage.
I'll bring 3 times to go. Yet to be determined. It's an NDI product. It works. It's NDI HX. It's not NDI, full NDI. Robert, correct?
Correct. But it has PoE on it, so it's got power on the Ethernet. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Does it also have an adapter plug as well?
An adapter plug, yes, a USB.
And are you able to plug both of those in and it will understand which it should get the power from without frying?
I haven't tried that.
As John is laughing at me because I made that
Don't
comment.
try it.
Don't,
Robbie's gonna fry.
Don't release the magic smoke.
But I know I did read in the instructions that there's a 5-volt power plug here that you can use an external out. It's DC out, and it's got a special plug on it to protect it, because it says that if you accidentally plug something in, so you put 5-volt in, it'll destroy itself. It has a, what does SpaceX call it?
Magic smoke.
No, it's something called a rapid deconstruction, something or the other.
It also could lead to RGE, resume generating event. If you're the tech on the show and you screw up the whole show.
Yeah. Oh, and you're getting Robert. The people that have obviously asked you for that report are now thanking you in YouTube chat. So let's give Robert some love from YouTube. There we go. Thank you for the Zowie Tech update. Wowie Zowie. Oh, Johnny, try that again. I swear you were wanting to say something.
You didn't want to hear what I just did.
Back in the olden days, they'd send you a carton of things when you mentioned their product on air. How come we don't get that?
We didn't. Did we do it 3 times? I don't
We
know.
need an
It's
app, don't we?
digital.
It's digital. Oh, no.
They send you a picture of the product.
Yeah.
They just downloaded 3 files to your machine.
Chocolate chip cookie, chocolate chip cookie, chocolate chip cookie.
Oh.
I was trying.
I know. John's hungry. Can't you tell? John's hungry, everybody? All right.
That's not going to work.
I know.
I don't know. Where's John? Physically.
Mr. Idelson? I don't know. He's in the dark right now, currently.
California somewhere.
All right. Well, I'm in
There he
California
is.
also,
Oh.
but I don't think I
Oh.
can drive that far to deliver cookies.
Oh, he's on the road. There he is. We got him. I found him.
But this is something that's new for me with the update to 7.1. It
Yes.
won't allow you to download the update while you have a meeting ongoing. Up until now, you could download and then activate it once the meeting's over that you're attending. Now it says paused, download will resume when your meeting ends.
That's nice of it. It didn't want to hog your bandwidth, Robert.
That's one way of
That's very
looking at it.
nice. They actually might have, that's actually them maybe learning from the Windows world that, heaven forbid, Windows updates actually download as soon as you plug in the PC when you go to the venue.
No, I don't think there's anything to be learned from the Windows world in that respect. Windows is just a disaster in the way it hogs your computer when everything when it is updating. But this is the first time I haven't seen this before, so that's a
Yeah.
change.
And I'll do a quick segue that I learned this just before joining us here in between John and my show and this show, was that it is official that Windows 10 end of life, as long as you have the new, if you've taken your Windows 10, and if not necessarily affecting anybody here, but if you are still running Windows 10 and you've done the special extended licensing, they've actually extended it now another full year. So it'll go to October 2027 now, as of today.
Should I thank you for that, Mike? Because we do actually have a couple of Windows 10 machines that we use with some PowerPoint just for projecting PowerPoint presentations on the screen. So
And that
Then you're
gives
welcome.
you a year to figure out what you're transitioning to. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Right now, the official date was supposed to be October 2026. Now they've extended it to October 2027. This is only affecting Windows 10, nothing got to do with Windows 11. This is only
Yes.
Windows 10.
if you bought that extended license.
Correct. If you bought the extended licenses, that allows you to get support until 2026. Now that has been expanded to 2027. I think, I don't know. Again, I'm going to say like Ray, I don't know the back end of this, but my assumption is that Microsoft is being nice because they've had way too many complaints because of the hardware shortages.
No,
So-
that's not the reason. You didn't
No?
read I think it was Lenovo showed their financial reports for last year when they stopped putting Windows on their laptop by default and put Ubuntu, their sales went up by 50%.
That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. And again, just to let everybody know too, and I let everybody know in our local Zoom chat here, that when I joined David's example in production studio, I actually joined via my Linux Mint 7.1 client. So as you saw, working perfectly fine from Linux Mint. So Ubuntu, Zoom. I haven't tested specifically Ubuntu, but I can tell you that Linux Mint has Ubuntu in the back end. So take that as it is.
Oh, actually, you may be right. They put Linux on it and not Ubuntu. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, Linux Mint, you mean, instead of Ubuntu? Sure. Sure, that's not dumb either. Linux Mint is very Windows looking of a Cinnamon desktop. I won't get into that too much, but it's basically Linux Mint's desktop makes it look the way it looks, which is very Windows-ish. So for the people to move from Windows 10 to a Linux Mint is not that much of a culture shock. Oh, and we got it correct. Okay, yeah, just give me a second. Let me just read this here from YouTube. Okay, Kieran was asking, just arrived. How do I set up a schedule for every second and fourth Friday? All my research says it can't be done and thought I would ask the panel.
It can
I
sort of be
actually
done.
answered from a different count.
Oh, you already answered?
Yeah, I basically said it's not possible to do with one regular meeting. If you could really trust people to always use the link that's in the calendar, you could set up 2 meetings, one that's always on the 1st and one that's always on the 15th. And if they would click that, that would happen. But a Webinars Plus license allows you to schedule up to 60 sessions, and you can put them on any date you want.
Can you say the question again, Mike?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'm not on mute. Okay, yeah, sure. How do I set up a schedule for every second and fourth Friday?
Meeting or webinar?
All my research says it can be done, and I thought I would ask the panel.
There's workarounds.
Yeah, by the way, I have a business account, and yeah, Kieran would need to know if it is meeting or webinar plus would be a good way of giving us a little more information. Go ahead, Frank. So if it was meeting.
Well, John has his hand up. I can wait my turn.
Okay, Johnny, go.
No, let him go first because his answer's bound to be better than mine.
You could use an anytime meeting and then edit your calendar to take the, like it takes some manual effort, but that's how I would do it.
That's exactly how I do it, and it works.
Yeah, Kieran, I think you're just getting your answer now as you typed this into chat. For meetings, I ended up doing weekly Friday and deleted the first and third Fridays.
Yeah.
Here's the other suggestion that so do that one more time for Kieran.
Who?
Oh, don't matter. Whoever. Sorry,
Well,
I was
the issue with using a no regular schedule is that if you want to set it up so that it can run without you, and you set it up so that people can join and there's no waiting room, then people will be joining that thing day and night just by clicking on it and not knowing when it's supposed to be scheduled or whatever, and that can be problematic.
Sure.
So the other part that you did was to really set it up for every week and go delete the ones that you don't want. The issue there is that there is a certain type of edit that you can do, and I can't articulate what it is, but there's a way to go in and edit, and it will reset all of them, and you have to go back in and delete the ones that you don't want. So you have to be careful.
Cool. Robert.
The way, what I found when I'm doing that is that I have to set up the meetings before I send out the invitations, before anyone registers for it. Because if people register and you start deleting things, it just messes up everyone's inbox.
Definitely. The other thing is I would lean on my calendar app of choice, not the Zoom calendar. I would use Outlook or Google Calendar or something. Do what Robert says, and then manage your calendar app to do the invitations.
That's clever. I didn't think of that.
Cool. Great question.
And Zoom has had this complaint for multiple years now, and they haven't addressed it.
And we're not sure why.
Well, I'd say their answer is Webinars Plus.
I know, but that answer doesn't satisfy everyone's desires.
Especially if they only really need a meeting.
I'll tell you something else that, and I learned this the hard way, is that if you set up these regular meetings and they have interpretation and you're allocating different interpreters, you have to get that right from the beginning, because once you've set it up, any changes you make go out as changes to the meeting. So that's it's very difficult. It's tricky, not difficult, it's tricky to manage.
Even if they just had, like, if you're editing the thing, if they had a mute outgoing announcements about it, like if you could press a button that says don't send anything while I edit this, like that would go a long ways towards what you're talking about, like suppress additional notifications until I uncheck this box or something.
Right, or at least when you hit save, get a pop-up saying, would you like me to send out this notification?
Yeah, something like that, some mechanism like that, yeah.
And then it'd be like a yes or no.
It's the same sort of mechanism when you do an import of attendees into a meeting. You get a request there, tick the box if you want us to send out the emails immediately. It should be able to untick it. It's doable, but they just don't have it available.
Yeah. It's one of those things that they just didn't think of adding, right?
It's a huge oversight. Like, what's the point of having a meeting if you can't control the invitations properly? Like, it goes part and parcel. Like, you have to have some kind of mechanism, right?
Well, from a programmer's perspective, and John, maybe you want to chime in here, but from a programmer's perspective, something that's very, very regular is pretty easy to go, we know which days and times it's on. Something that, can kind of be moved around and all that sort of stuff creates a tracking problem for somebody, whether it's everybody or just inside the program. It's a little more difficult.
I get it. It's just, I'm thinking of the needs of office workers or office administrators who are trying to plan these, because this is a common occurrence in corporations and organizations, right?
The other part of the invitation process that we get trapped in quite often is that we edit the HTML of the invitations. Now, when you do that, it applies to all invitations for the whole organization. But if we have an event for a specific client, we don't have the luxury in meetings to use what is available in Zoom Events. And I know it's there, and I know that's what Zoom Events is designed to do. But we have to go in there, edit the HTML, take it out, keep a copy, and then remember to go and replace it once the event's over so that it doesn't go out in that form to the next person. And that the challenge here is that the language used, you have the formal and the informal, especially when you have the different languages of the invites. You go out to a very formal meeting and you say, "Hi, Mr. President." It doesn't work. It just doesn't fly. So there even those little things need to be changed and managed manually.
Excellent. Mr. Drinkwater.
As I was challenged to answer this, I will do so. And I can't find it, which is really annoying. There is supposed to be a toggle in Zoom meetings to disable all the messages from Zoom meetings. Now, the reason for that is if you're using a CRM or another package to notify things about your meetings, maybe the external package is even organizing the meetings for you, there is supposed to be a switch, and I can't find it now, which is really annoying.
It's in the emails. At the top, when you go to emails, it's in there. You can...
Yeah, I'm looking in the wrong place. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. I'm looking in the wrong place. So when you disable that function, Zoom effectively stops sending out the emails, but you can then send them out yourself under your own rules for instance, I have some of my medical meetings where we have a CRM that invites everybody. And what it does is before it sends out the invite, it invites them. They say they want to join, they pay their money, that comes back. They're now on the attendee list. And what the CRM does is it has a tag. So it's tagged everybody who's bought a ticket. And then we get it to send an email out. Sorry. This heat's got to me. We send a message to Zoom to say this person wants to join this meeting. And Zoom goes, oh, great. Okay. And it gives us their personal join link. And we then store that and we go through all the people. So we end up with a database now of all the people who want to attend and their join link. Then the CRM sends the email out to each person and it can now include their personal join link to that event. So they now know exactly where they're going and exactly who they're going to. And also, if somebody then contacts the admin, which I'm afraid for her happens every time she has a meeting, she'll get 3 or 4 people who will say, I forgot my link. Well, she's got it all in the CRM, so she can send out their links to them and they can then join the meeting automatically.
That's exactly the way.
But it is a bit of a sledgehammer to crack a nut, because you're just saying, okay, Zoom, don't do any more emails for me. I'm going to do it myself. So it's a bit of a jump from one extreme to the other, but it does work.
But there's 2 reasons. We actually use Zapier to do that, just to send the information backwards and forwards. But there's another reason we do that, is that in the government organizations in Europe, a lot of them have closed the firewalls and won't allow Zoom domain to come in as an email. So when we get stuck with that, we use an outside party. Or we have a hosted dedicated IP with a different domain to send out the invitations.
That's very neat.
But even that is manual work. We need to set it up. Like you said, it's cumbersome to set up, to test, make sure it's working, and then send the right thing at the right time to the right people.
Isn't marketing fun, Robert? Marketing is so fun. Go ahead, Frank.
So I'm sure most of the people in this meeting know this, but there are a whole bunch of Zoom features that you have to ask someone at Zoom to enable. They're like secret features. Like my Zoom rep tells me, oh, I can get that working for you. And then you say, how? I've looked through all the documentation. I've looked through all the settings. There's no setting. And then they'll go, well, there's something we can turn on the back end for various different topics, right? I wish there was a published list of these secret flags they can turn off or on, because I'd like to know what other things I could be asking for.
Then they
Frank,
wouldn't be
that's
secret and
never
exclusive.
gonna
Frank.
happen.
I know, but it's like, what do you mean they could do that the whole time and I didn't know? I would have loved to have known that 2 years ago.
Did everybody notice all the community champions piped up as soon as Frank, the community champion, made that comment too? Go ahead. Oh,
Don't know what you're talking about.
Now everybody's quiet. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, no one's going to tell us about all the secret features we've all been able to sneak into our system that everybody else hasn't got. No, I'm not going to sell that. It's my feature.
I'll jump in real quick. You know, there are some things that get announced and you have the big, oh, these require enablement. If you guys remember the recording studio, which we talked about a little bit, in the latest release, they pulled that off of the requirement to actually have it. So now if you have a Zoom Events or Webinars Plus license, you're not supposed to have to request it. It's supposed to be available. I don't know, did I mention last week? Was I here for last week? I can't even remember. Yesterday. I was able to try the recording studio and most of it ended up working really, really, really well. I think you might have seen the video that I put out. What I was finally told, I think it was after Friday's Zoom Test Kitchen, was that the reason that my computer and my other computer had the little warning symbol that they can't do the local recording is because there are certain criteria that have to be met, which aren't published yet that I can find. It has to be 11th generation CPU or greater, and it's got to have 8 cores or more. And so my little buddy over here only has 6 cores, and my HP Z2 Tower has a Xeon 1290p processor in it, which is 10th generation. And it's got 20 times 2 CPUs in it. So yeah, I don't know what gives, but apparently I'm going to be left out on the local end-to-end recording bit.
Sorry, Ray.
Does that translate into M's for the Mac world?
Yes, it sort of does, yeah.
If you're on a Mac, it probably works for everybody. I don't know.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Except the Intel-based Macs.
Yeah.
Intel Macs, I would not be optimistic about. Yeah, I think that's the polite way of saying it. There are certain features to do with video production and audio production that are only available in newer chips and certain graphics cards. That's why vMix, for instance, says it will run on NVIDIA and won't touch anything else, because it's been written specifically for the extra, as we were just talking about, the extra secret features that you've got on an NVIDIA card that you don't get in a standard graphics card. So most of it is to do with the processing and the extra chipset functions in those other chips, and that's why they've drawn a line, Ray. Basically, they drew a line on the original Zoom when it first ever came out, but Zoom's quite good at working with lower power machines, but 60 frames a second is not a lower powered machine in anybody's context. And that's why they had to draw a line higher up for this. And I'm sorry. Obviously, they looked at what machine you had and they decided that it had to be the next generation up. I mean, that's what happens when you're
I've got a Quadro 5000 GPU. So yeah, I don't know. It's just.
Well, you've got the graphics then. But unfortunately, the data's still got to be processed by the processor. And that's why you need both.
Yeah.
What's the expression? Lots of power, no control.
You're muted there, Mike.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I was gonna say, and Ray can easily run vMix on his machine, but he can't run Recording Studio.
Yeah. Well, I can run Recording Studio. It did a great recording of the ISO video and audio in the cloud. So any internet glitches would have still shown up in there. The other issue that we had in the video is that it showed that it tried to do local recordings. And they were in that list that I was looking at, sort of the post recordings. And the support guys said, "Oh, thank you for that. Those aren't even supposed to show up if it didn't even try to do a recording. We'll fix that on the next release." So yeah, I helped.
Ray, just explain to me, what's the difference between the ISO recordings from the recording studio from the individual ISO recordings you get in the cloud from Zoom? I'm referring to the cloud recordings.
So the cloud gets everybody's video anyway, okay? And so if you've got one of those little check marks by you in the recording studio, it'll ask for 1080 to get it from everybody, and it will simply assimilate those into their own individual recording files. But if you have a 1.5-second video outage or internet outage, there's no way it can replace that 1.5-second video, but the local recording will continue to record even if your internet goes out for days, well, not days, but you can continue to record that.
I understand that, but you said you did a cloud recording because you couldn't do the two-sided recording.
Yeah, that's the default when you go into Recording Studio, is that when you check the box, it does both. It does the cloud ISO recording, and if you are capable, will attempt the local recording, and then it will upload the local once that gets done. So yeah, to me, here's what I've had in the past. I've had too many people in a webinar, and I've had the what I thought was the right people with Spotlit, but it turns out that the person that was actually talking was one of the other panelists, and by the time I got around to getting her Spotlit, she had stopped and someone else started talking. With the ISO version, I can just go straight in Adobe Premiere and pull in that 1080p of the person who was talking at the right moment in the edited clip. I can normally do that, but what I'm looking at is a gallery view of maybe it's 49 people or 25 people, and I take that little itty bitty, 180p and try and make something usable out of it, and it just can't be done. So if you're looking at post-production, having the ISO video clouds is really good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic product. I do my in-person recordings. I will make sure I have recordings on the camera, and if I can't have recordings on the camera, I'll get them ISO recorded everywhere. So I've got every recording. I've got a recording of everything all my cameras saw, all my screen shares saw. So at the end of the event, not only can I make sure, as Ray said, that I can have a recording with the right person on the screen when they're talking, but I can also remix anything I want from that event. If I want somebody doing a presentation. Now, I got a fantastic nod from Ray there, but you didn't see it on the audience. Maybe I want to do another version of that where I could have Ray and me on the screen. I can say the fantastic things, and Ray's sticking up his thumb, he's smiling, and he's the CEO, and I want him on the screen when I'm doing my presentation at that point. It is there are so many things you can do with it when you've got that. But as we said, technically speaking, and I know all the people who don't want to know technical can now cover their ears for a second, you've got to be able to have a computer that's got the power to send 160 frames a second high quality recording locally and one to the cloud at the same time. And both of those recordings are, I don't know what, 4 times more power hungry than the normal stuff that comes out of Zoom. But when it works, and of course, if you think the main target for this was CEOs in their plush offices, if they've got the recordings, there's no time you'll ever want to miss anything your CEO has said. And that's where they went to start. That was what they were originally made for. But I'm sure lots of people that do podcasts and can get a powerful PC, a little bit more powerful than Ray's, just a little bit, they must think that, well, let's just say, I had an experience with a certain Streamside product or Riverside product, I think it's called. And I was so disappointed with what it could do. The fact that it could record these extra frames a second before Zoom brought this out, well, I mean, I was just so disappointed at how many other features I had to compromise to get that one feature. So I will be selling my shares in Riverside if I haven't already, because I don't think they're worth diddly squat now. And that's just what happens. Riverside will have to now find something else to make it different than Zoom. Just like all these other products, they will have to find something to be different to Zoom, or the great Zoom monster is going to gobble them up.
Go ahead, Robert.
Ray, can I just come back to you? How do you select which speakers you want to be ISO recorded?
So keep in mind that Recording Studio only works in meetings. Okay, so it doesn't work in webinars. And what I think you saw in the recording the video that I had out is that when you and you can't really tell it because I only had 2 people. If there's 30 people in the meeting, a sort of a participants like view shows up, and you can check boxes of who you want to get the ISO recordings, and it'll only go up to 10. And after you've done the 10th one, you can't check somebody unless you uncheck somebody. Now, the cool part is that you can check 10 people and you can click record for take number 1, which are all of the recipients of the Best People in the World award. And then you can uncheck some people once the take is done and check some other people and do a recording of the 10 worst people in the world, if that's the way you wanted to do it. So yeah, the take option is actually pretty cool. What I haven't really done yet is pull all of this into Production Studio and not Production Studio, but Premiere Pro, and see how Premiere Pro handles it.
You also get an XML file to help you with the video editing.
Right. That's the piece that I haven't really done yet is to pull all of that in and see, does it really help me? Does it automatically line up time codes when I pull them in? That feature, is worth gold in Premiere Pro, and a couple of the other, I think DaVinci Resolve has it, and a bunch of the others have it as well. Line up the time codes. The other thing that Premiere Pro will do is that if you have two different sources with different time codes, it will actually line up the audio. You can have it look at the audio, and it will look at the audio track and match those up.
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve does that as well. But tell me something, if you select a person to ISO record at the beginning, and then you change that person during the event, will that create a second file?
Yes, I believe that the individual takes are done individually. That they
Yeah,
won't
I
record
agree with
while
that.
you're not recording.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking because from a recording point of view, when I throw, for example, when I do ISO recordings on an ATEM and I throw them into DaVinci Resolve and I get them all synced, I can literally play the whole thing and just choose and select what I want at any one time because it stays in sync right from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you've got pieces of different people, you need to match them up when they come in online. Which
Yeah,
is okay.
that'll be
It's not
interesting
an
when I
issue.
that'll be interesting when I have a chance to do that, because if you go back and watch the little video that I put out, you can see that it's got the regular cloud recording and then the takes, and the takes have the cloud ISO recording and then a space for, which didn't show up, the local cloud recording. And if you're lucky enough to have an 11th generation CPU with 8 cores, you can download one, but I'm not bitter.
I almost think of this as a production tool where you would be directing people, not a live meeting as much as like, okay, everyone, take one. We're gonna do this. Stand by, and then you've got the cloud recordings, which are kind of like your proxies, and then the local records that get uploaded to the cloud. Later, you can download those and use those as your actual video editing clips at higher quality and resolution, right?
Yeah,
It's like the
perfect.
ISO audios, which we've had for a long time. I normally don't download all of those, and I've done nursing meetings where there are 45 people and I get the 45 individual audio files. But then I'm doing some editing, and Helen Erickson, the author of this nursing theory, says something really, really brilliant at the same time that Sally's dog barks and somebody else is coughing. Like, okay, well, I'll go in and I'll download Helen's audio and place it in and just tune the others out. So yeah, use it when you need it.
We often shoot in, well, we shoot in 4K all the time. Sometimes we shoot in 6K or higher. And sometimes people are far away geographically and we'll hire a local camera person to go do our shoots. But I mean, a lot of our delivery is still in 1080 over the web. I could see times where we would say, let's do a remote recording with someone. 1080 is good enough, and I wouldn't consider it a meeting as much as like I'd set up like a studio interview or something. And if you had a space where you have a limbo and lighting and all the production stuff you need, you could get a pretty good, decent looking thing out of it.
If this was as close as they could get to your camera, and you wanted to have a face shot, it's not going to be that great.
No,
if
I
you
know.
got control over what they actually look like and sound like.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I'm still disappointed at some of my favorite podcasters who do remote podcast recording with people who are in a small room with nothing on the walls, and you hear nothing but room noise. I mean, I hear nothing but room noise. Yeah.
There's so many filters
just
for
ask
that
them
now.
to just take ask them to take their laptop into their closet, into their walk-in closet with all of the there's easy ways around it.
Yeah, I think we've all got our issues with people and their sounds. My main issues, and I see someone with iPods, I just my teeth grind. I can't cope with that. And you really ask them, do you know what you sound like? And the response is usually, I can hear really well. I said, we know that, but do you know what you sound like? No, I can hear you really well. So I said, okay, let me record a piece now. And I record and play it back, and he said, that's how you sound. I said, no. No, that's not what I
It,
sound like.
it is
Yeah,
is
but
absolutely
you're hearing it really
amazing.
well.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing how we really don't know what we sound like. It's absolutely amazing. Is that really me? Yes, that's really you.
Well, but
And
you're also going from Bluetooth, the
Yeah.
microphone's being, transduced through the Bluetooth wireless signal too, right? Which means you're going to lose some quality there too.
Absolutely. And Frank is 100% on that. So it's basically, again, this is the whole difference of, am I wearing earbuds, or am I wearing, am I wearing a lav? Am I wearing a, doing a, what type of microphone? How is it plugging into the system? Right. That all comes down to it exactly. And again, Bluetooth will add color, and Frank is 100% right. It's built into the technology for free.
It doesn't add color. It just adds an open can of beans that makes it sound like the echoing of tin metal.
I mean,
I was being nice. I said color.
get an audio interface and run an XLR cable into it, and Bob's your uncle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just sometimes these people are your clients or your whatever they are, and you can't convince them. They know better than you, even though this is what you do for a living, right?
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. All right. I'm going to throw this out there to our fans on YouTube and our Zoom Test Kitchen community. If you have any questions for our Zoom community champions, let us know in YouTube chat, and I will relay it. And of course, our infamous
Still three MVPs on the wall.
Yeah, I know.
While we're waiting, how hot is it there, John? What's the temperature today? What was
It's
the
so
high?
hot.
Well, it's officially cooling down today. So it was only about 30 today, but it
Okay.
was over 20 last night and the night before, and it's very humid.
Yeah, the humidity's
So
horrible.
that's not making it. It's not making it good.
Yeah, John, what is the feels like number? Does the UK do a feels like number?
Yeah, it feels like shit.
Do they tell you the Humidex, whatever? Like that's what
Yeah,
we use here, Humidex.
Yeah, in Canada we actually we have a Humidex number, or that feels like X number.
Oh
X
yeah, we've got one of those. Yeah, we've got one of those because when the wind blows, you get a reduction. But yeah, it's just been such silly numbers. It really has been. And of course, we're not, the buildings here aren't made for extreme hot or extreme cold. If people have air conditioners, usually those little portable ones, which are about as useful as a chocolate orange in this weather. So it's not been fun. It's not been fun.
Terry's chocolate orange?
It's not Terry's, it's mine.
Okay.
I like that one. I like that one. Old references, gang. If you got that one, good. If you didn't, we're sorry. It's too hard to explain.
Yeah. That was in the time when we had real chocolate and real ice cream as well, not frozen desserts.
So true. So true.
So I'm using, since I've upgraded my Zoom client, I'm able to test the voice translator.
All right.
And my first impression, because I'm using it from English to English, so it's just repeating everything that's being said with a delay.
Yeah.
And the intonation is really bad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really bad. So when you were talking just now, and I was listening to John, I can't remember what John said, but the sound would go up towards the end of the sentence instead of going down. So it sounded more like a question than it would a statement. The intonation is bad.
Does it think I'm Australian? Maybe it thinks I'm Australian.
That's a good point. But yeah, no, Robert, no. Okay, that's interesting. I know I was playing with, remember I was telling you about the function when we were in Josh's office hours that I had that in there. Yeah. And I saw it was enabled and I went, what is this? So I was like, I thought I would try it. And I asked Josh and he said, oh, did I turn that on? So that was kind of funny. It was like, okay, yes, you did. Um, but yeah, so yeah, it is currently a beta. So of course, Robert understands that too. But
I'm
so
just giving some feedback so that the developers can understand. The other thing that I've noticed, which is completely different from human interpretation when a human's interpreting, is that this listens to a section and then it does the interpretation, while a human interpreter will be very, very consistent. As I hear you speak, I will just go process it and spit it out. A good interpreter. I mean, you do get people once they're tired, it's usually a sign that they aren't drinking enough water, because that's one of the biggest challenges that interpreters have. They just lose all of their liquid in their body very quickly, and they start getting stuttering delays and
Just hook up a saline IV to them before the show starts.
yep, yeah, boop, yeah, exactly.
but listening to this, it's doing it in chunks. So it's actually listening to something, understanding the context, and then throwing it out.
Yeah, it's as if it grabbed the audio, sending it to the cloud. Cloud understood it, and it's bringing it back. So it's actually giving you that bit of a delay. Robert, your thoughts?
I'm not sure it's the technical delay that's coming. I
Okay.
think it's actually having to listen to something longer without doing anything with it before it starts putting it, because I'm sure it does a voice to text, translates it, and then text to voice back to speech.
Well, the other thing that you see when you're looking at the closed captions is that very often it will spit out a word that it think that it heard, and then
And it
when it
goes
gets some
back.
context, a couple of words into it, it goes back and rewrites. And my guess is it's sort of waiting for something that the AI thinks is a full phrase to get the complete context and make sure that everything matches up, and then shoves that out to look at the next bunch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I didn't notice German on the list, because German is actually one of the most difficult languages, not because of the vocabulary, but because in German you put the verb at the end of the sentence. So you don't know what the tense is until you get to the end of the sentence.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. But yeah, Robert, there was only what there was only 8 languages, right? I think.
No, I don't have that many. I have
No?
English, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, and French.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. 5, 6.
Yep, 5.
Yeah, 5.
I was close to 8.
Yeah. No, I was remembering off the top of my head, because again, that was a week and a half ago that we did that with Josh. Yeah, no, that's cool. And what is there? So the Josh ring a bell. There is a Zoom events office hours coming up this Wednesday. I do know that. Yes, so Zoom is doing an awesome thing on our Canada Day, Frank. They're having about I could easily go to 5 meetings if I wanted to on Wednesday on Canada Day. So that's interesting.
Register and then wait for the recordings.
Register and wait for the recordings. Yeah.
Hey, Robert, did you see the note that I posted in Discord about the number of interpretations that are now available?
No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. You said it was up to 20. That's right. Yes, I did.
I think the number was 200.
Yeah,
Sorry, it was from.
200.
That's right. It was 200. That is
More
correct.
context. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
There was a limit
it-
to the number of
so-
interpreters that you could put on define for any event, and that's been increased to
dual
200
context.
now.
It's a dual context. There's that. And when I read that, I immediately thought of Robert, of course. But the other part of that context is when the latest Zoom release notes came out, I did my usual thing, copy all of it, paste it into Word, and do a comparison of the last release notes. And this was an addition in June to the May release notes. So, anyone who just read the June release notes looking for them would have missed it. That's the reason that I saw, I need to call out Robert so that he's aware of that. And I continue to make my case with Zoom that we need some sort of vertical bar that says this is different from the last edition.
But the reason this is so interesting is, and Ray and I corresponded on this, but when you have a limit of, say, 10 interpreters that you can define, and you have an event that's going on for 4 days, and if the event is more than 8 hours a day, you need 2 sets of interpreters per day per channel. So that's already 4 interpreters per channel. So if you have only 10 interpreters available, you've literally got 2 language channels plus a half day. Yeah. And that you're stuck at that point. When in the past, when we've been doing this, when we had that limitation because we had a longer event, we would actually put technical email addresses in for the interpreters. So it'd be interpreter 1, interpreter 2, interpreter 3, and then they would just share them. But that's resolved now. This is clean. I like this. I like what they've done.
All right. All right, we're at the 6 o'clock hour Eastern. Cool. Any other thoughts, guys, before we potentially wrap this up for this week's episode of The Kitchen, as Zoom wants to call us, as Zoomies call us?
If we're waiting for questions from YouTube, I can just talk about one more thing on interpretation on the new Zoom ISO version, because on the new Zoom ISO now, you have interpretation channels, which you didn't have in the previous Zoom ISO. In the previous Zoom ISO, you'd have access to the interpreter's audio. Now you have access to the interpretation channel, so you can choose English, French, whatever. And then the switching or swapping of the interpreters occurs automatically. You don't have to do that in any manual form, which is really nice. The only thing and I had a long discussion with Clark yesterday about this, is that there's a big difference between the interpretation audio in the meeting itself and the interpretation audio that you get out of Zoom ISO. And the Zoom ISO interpretation does not have the original sound. It's only the interpretation. So what's the context of this? If you have a meeting in English, and everyone's speaking English and everyone's listening in English, and then a French person comes in and starts speaking French, the interpreter will interpret from French into English. And so if you're on the English channel, you'll hear the interpreter when the French person is speaking, and then you'll hear the English when an English speaker is speaking. You don't get that effect in Zoom ISO. What you get in Zoom ISO is the clean channel of the interpretation language. So what you have to do is, of course, you put it into a mixer, and one has to be ducked when the other one appears. And there was a discussion whether this is something that should be done or changed, like it is in the Zoom meeting. And the thinking is actually, Clark came up with this, and he said the thinking it should be slightly different, because Zoom meetings are available for everyone, so it should be simple and you should have the choice. But if someone's using Zoom ISO, that means he's a professional audio AV person. You can't use interpretation with Zoom ISO at a level where you don't understand how to take the channel out and how to put it into a mixing board, and use a ductor and a gate or whatever else that you want to put on there. You can't do that if you don't understand the basics of audio management. So that's an interesting thing to remember, though.
Yeah, Robert, I totally agree with you on that. And Tulloch is right. That it was Tulloch that mentioned that to you, right? Yeah, Tulloch is absolutely right in the regards of, you got to think of it this way. Zoom ISO is giving you everything isolated. So what you don't want is the meeting. You're literally you want that interpreter's voice, you're getting that interpreter's voice. Now it's up to you to do with it what you plan on doing with it at that particular point, which means that you want to duck it, great. You want to have a dedicated channel that it's doing that, great. But that is situation in that regards too. Yeah. So I totally get where Tulloch is going with that. And this is very broadcast too, where I've done many different things. When I've gotten broadcast feeds, they will usually send me 8 audio channels. And then it's up to me going, okay, yeah, I want, perfect example, of course, FIFA is going on, and I've done a lot of the FIFA stuff. So they will actually send me 8 different channels. So I got, back in the day, I used to get English, Spanish, Portuguese, and crowd. So in stereo.
You're
So
not
there's
allowed
8
to
channels.
say that, Mike.
I am. Yes, I am, because it's not proprietary. So when it comes to that, so basically I got those in stereo. So it was up to us if we wanted to run strictly the announcers in those different languages, or we wanted the fourth choice, which was we would just get the arena noise, and then we would put our own people on top of it, our own local announcers, as probably is being done as it's done in Poland. So that would be a perfect example of what, in that regards, that's what Zoom ISO should be doing for your translators as well, is that you're getting that audio in. Now it's a magic of what you want to do with it, either in post or live.
But the discussion was
Robert?
that yeah.
Your question for you, if you've got 10 or 15 speakers and 4 or 5 interpreters, and you've got 2 or 3 speakers that speak Spanish and 2 or 3 speakers that speak French and a couple in English, does the same interpreter interpret for everyone who speaks Spanish, or do you have a separate interpreter for each of the Spanish speakers?
No, the way it works is all of the interpreters can hear the original sound. That's the sound in the meeting. And then you'll have a dedicated group that is interpreting into Spanish from a specific language. So if the meeting's mainly in English, they'll be interpreting from English into Spanish. However, if a French person comes on, you won't, there's 2 forms of interpretation. You can have what's called pure interpreters, and that's the most expensive solution, because that's always a one-to-one type setup. Or you can have what's called you get the English person, you get an English interpreter to interpret from French into English, and then the Spanish interpreter from English to Spanish. So you have a jump there.
Sure.
It's cheaper to do because you have less interpreters involved. However, you do have a drop in quality during the second drop leg. Technically it's called a relay, because you're relaying across the message.
All right.
And you also get a longer delay, so you lose a lot of the dynamic part of the meeting if you do it that way.
Okay, cool.
But just coming back to what I was saying, the discussion with Tlaloc came from, in the meeting itself, when you use the interpretation, you can switch the original sound off so that you don't hear the speakers on the floor and you just hear the interpreters. So the question was, do we do that in Zoom ISO as well? Just put that in. But my thoughts were as follows. When we use Zoom ISO to pull out in the interpretation, we want the clean interpretation channels, because we're usually doing a hybrid. So you're putting them into a piece of equipment like this that the attendees have, and you don't want to feed them the original sound, because they can hear the original sound from the room that they're in. And what they'd literally have is a delayed original sound coming in their ear. It'd drive them mad.
Right. They're already getting delayed interpreter already, because it's going to be automatically delayed because the interpreter has to hear the original voice coming out.
But they don't bother about that, because if someone is using the interpretation, that means that he doesn't understand what's being said in the room anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's slightly delayed.
Right. But then it'll be a double noise, because you're hearing what's in the room, then what's coming back, and the interpreter.
I have a solution for that.
Oh,
yeah.
Go for it, Frank.
Hire psychic interpreters. Then they'll know what to say immediately.
You've come up with the same solution that I came up with when we were looking for a way of getting the video to be delayed against the audio. Was that right? No, the audio in Zoom to be delayed compared to the video, so that we don't have that delay when we're pushing and processing the video through a third-party app. So literally, you'd have to say something before you've said it, so that the video would record the lip movements.
I'm moving to Poland and putting you out of business with my team of psychic interpreters.
Team of psychic interpreters.
There's
That's
a
a nice
sentence
name.
that has never been said before, I bet.
Yeah. Not on Zoom Test
Psychic
Kitchen.
interpreters, we knew you were going to call us. Go ahead.
I like that. That's cool.
We've
Well,
already
we
booked your event.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're already on their way.
Yeah.
Something I'm thinking about in the process of doing this is, I'm sure John will run right out and do this. It is something that will take the original soundtrack, take each of the interpreter tracks, potentially take the translated captions and the non-translated captions and look at them and then create those pairings of both audio, and time sync them up so that the duct English and the Spanish that's being translated could come at the sort of the normal rate that they would expect. And then, create that as an output and then time sync that all up to the video for somebody. I don't know. It seems like it's a great idea, but
Are you
it would take
feeling
John
bored,
probably at least
Ray?
a week to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Drinkwater,
overtime.
there was a semi reference to you in that comment.
Yeah,
So
John, have that on my desk by Monday, John.
God's giving me the evil eye.
I know everybody's
I'm
missing
just
it. Everybody
wondering
sees it
how
in
you're
our
going to
meeting.
explain that to Uncle Claude. How are you going to phrase that to Uncle Claude? If you can describe it to Uncle Claude, I can write it. Uncle Claude can't.
Yeah.
Well, you just feed him the transcript of the Zoom Test Kitchen.
Aren't
Yeah, with Ray-
LLMs predictive? Shouldn't they be able to tell us what we're going to say?
Uh-oh. Don't say predictive because we'll go psychic. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're going back to how we're bringing it around. No, all of a sudden AI psychic. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
if they were psychic, they would have known I did write it by Monday.
Time travel.
Ray, what is it with you giving John challenges by Monday? What is it with you? I know.
I'm trying to keep him busy. He's got nothing else on his plate. He's just looking for extra things to do.
He's looking for
Yeah.
ice cream and some relief from the heat.
Real
And
ice cream.
he's going to find that air conditioner.
The grocery stores are probably, all the freezers are probably empty right now.
Do they even sell the manual creating ice cream machines anymore? I haven't seen one of those for years.
I think they
Have
stopped
you
some.
hand cranked your own ice cream?
Yeah, I online, I think you can get them. We used to go out in the snowbank and just make it in the snowbank.
Oh.
Just
get
don't
me
eat the
started.
yellow snow. That's no
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. It might have
No.
it might have had another friend visit it before you got there. And it's not
Yeah,
lemon
avoid
flavored.
lemon flavored snow.
That's right. Yeah, 100% lemon.
Frank Zappa. You know what I'm talking about? Don't you go where the Huskies go? You know what I'm talking about? No, I never.
Oh my.
Yeah, hilarious. All right. And our Zoom Test Kitchen community is enjoying our comedy show right now that we're doing. So it almost might be time to wrap this up for especially our friends in Poland and our friends in the UK that are not as late, but our friends in Poland might be a little bit later. So let me contemplate this. Anything else from the group before we wrap this up as I look for our closing theme?
You're not going to do your service announcement? PSA?
My service announcement? Excuse me.
Yeah. Join us every week on the Zoom Test Kitchen.
Oh, I will be doing that.
Oh, okay.
But everybody has to do karaoke first. But I wanted to make sure that, everybody has a chance. Our panelists, if there's anything coming up this week that we should be knowing about that might be of interest, to the community, let us know.
Canada plays in the World Cup on Sunday. That's important. Everyone should know that.
That's true. That's true.
Are you still tie with Messi in terms of goals?
I don't know. I'm a fair weather fan.
All right. On that note, everybody have a good FIFA this weekend. Now they're actually doing 4 games a day, 2 at each time. So you all have to find your infamous channel 1 and channel 2 that'll have the different matches. Yes, I know that from the FIFA words, not games, matches. That you'll have to choose from. That might be your favorite team at that particular point.
We just have 2 screens.
And yes, of course, yes.
Actually, 3 screens. 2 screens to see the show, and then 1 screen to go and follow a particular player around. That's quite good fun as well. Have you tried that?
I have not.
It's not available. Maybe it's not available in your vicinity, but it is. It is in our vicinity. We can choose a player, and it has sort of this virtual reality follow 'em around type thing.
Yeah. Formula One has that, right? If you pay for the subscription, you can get that. You can follow your favorite cockpit of your car or whatever, right?
It's like Zoom
Yeah,
rooms.
but each car has a camera on it, whereas this virtual one, they don't actually put a camera on each player. Only the refs got a camera on them.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, there's some interesting tech if you guys want to check it out on YouTube that I was actually watching how they actually have sensors in the actual football, aka soccer ball. And they also have sensors along the edges of the perimeter. So they actually will be able to tell the ref if the ball actually goes out or not. And again, it's very much similar to like Frank, you and I have, where they have to go back to head office for the refs, where the refs will need that additional, what do you want to call it? We're checking the tape.
VAR or AVR or something.
Yeah.
Review.
So it's similar type stuff that they're doing that stuff too. And where they actually set up the main, and you can look this up on YouTube as well if anybody is interested to take a look at the production building that they built within the actual Dallas Convention Center. That is the actual FIFA main hub for everything. So every camera, that's right, I did write this down for everybody, so I will give this tidbit. 16 cameras per arena, all sent back to Dallas. So 16 times however many venues, which I believe is up in the teens as well. Feeds
Is
are
that
coming
just
in.
is that fixed cameras or is that also the drones and everything else?
Everything.
Okay.
So every single source is coming back from arena, which totals 16 cameras, coming back from each arena back to Dallas. I believe in full frame. So I believe
They've
they're
got
doing it
a
over
fiber
media frame.
connection that's this big.
There you go. Yeah, no fooling. No fooling. And
No.
each one of those itty bitty fibers has got a camera on it. Go ahead, Robert.
I'm beginning to understand why they need that additional break for drinks halfway through. It's not for the players, it's for the operators.
Yes, and guess who else is enjoying it
Hydration
too?
break.
Yeah, and who else is enjoying it is also the advertisers, because they get to sneak in two and a half, if not 3 minutes worth of ads, especially here in North America. So, but yeah. So it's, yeah. Robert, I don't know if Poland, are they actually during the hibernation, are they showing you ads or no?
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if
I'm not watching it.
Okay.
I'm watching WRC, the World Rally Championship. It's in Greece at the moment, and they have temperatures in the cars of over 40 degrees centigrade. So
Oh, yeah.
Just roll down the windows.
That's why they dry so fast. They want to get back to the end and cool off.
Yeah.
it's amazing because the dust trail behind is bigger than the smoke trail behind the Starship when it launches from Florida. It's amazing.
Very, very cool. So everybody enjoy your weekend. And again, for our friends in Canada, happy Canada Day on Wednesday. And then, of course, we'll see everybody here next week. Will be the eve to the July 4th weekend for our friends in the US. And Frank is flying our Canadian flag proudly. Attaboy, Frank. On that note, it's time for Zoom Test Kitchen to do some karaoke, and I promise I won't blast your ears off. Karaoke time. Enjoy, everybody.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with these. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth. Keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No We're the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back. No
All right. And we did not wreck this week, everyone. So that's a good thing. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube and, of course, Zoom know how much you love our content. We are here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific time, and check your local time zone to match up with those times. See everyone next week for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. And again, once again, to our Canadian viewers, our Canadian Zoom Test Kitchen community, happy Canada Day, July 1st. And we'll see you here next Friday at that time. Take care, everyone.